The delinquent Shimizu-san sitting next to me has dyed her hair black. Volume 4, by Soko Hana, translated by Hiraith at Hiraith Translations. Audiobook by Masquerade at Masquerade Audiobooks. Prologue. Shimizu-san and consultation. On a summer afternoon, as the end of the vacation was slowly approaching, I was deep in thought in my room when the ringtone of my smartphone sounded. Picking it up, I saw that it was a call from Seto-san. I touched the screen and brought the smartphone to my ear. "Hello, this is Seto." "Hi, Seto-san, what's the matter?" "I wanted to talk about something, so I called." "Do you have time right now, Hondo-kun?" "I'm free today, no plans." "That's good to hear. So, what did you want to talk about?" It was rare for Seto-san to call me, so I had no idea what she wanted to discuss. "The thing I want to talk about is related to Matsuoka-kun, Toshiya." "Yes, I had fun the other day when I hung out with Matsuoka-kun, so I wanted to thank him." Hearing Seto-san's words brought back memories. Indeed, I recalled being asked to pass a plastic model kit to Toshiya. At that time, Seto-san had suggested inviting Toshiya to hang out, and then giving him the model on the way back. It seems Seto-san was able to invite Toshiya to play. "You got to hang out with Toshiya. Were you able to give him the plastic model?" "I gave it to him on the way back. Matsuoka-kun was really happy." I thought Toshiya would be happy with any gift from Seto-san, but it must have been even more special since it was something he liked. "I'm glad he was happy." "Yes, and it's all thanks to the advice you gave me, Hondo-kun. Thank you." I just said what I thought, but if it helped you, Seto-san, then I'm glad. "It was very helpful. That's why I want to thank you. Is there anything you'd like me to do for you?" "Something I'd like you to do." "Yes, I'd like you to tell me if there's anything within my power that you want me to do." I was happy just to be thanked, but it seemed she felt it wasn't enough. "If it's okay with you, Seto-san, I'd like you to hang out with Toshiya again when you have time." "I've already asked Matsuoka-kun to hang out again." "Really?" I never imagined Seto-san would take the initiative to invite Toshiya to play again. It seems the day she spent playing with Toshiya was really enjoyable for her. "Besides, that request doesn't count as me doing something for you, Hondo-kun. Is there anything else you want me to do?" "Something I want you to do." After thinking for a few seconds, the thing I had been pondering earlier came to mind. "Is there really nothing you want me to do?" "No, there is. There's something I want you to do for me, Seto-san." "Is it something I can do?" "Yes, in fact, you might be the only one I can ask." "That sounds serious. So, what is it that you want me to do?" "I need your advice on something." "What is the consultation about?" I felt a little tense. I took a deep breath to calm myself. "I might have feelings for Shimizu-san." There was no reply from Seto-san. Perhaps the topic of my concern was too sudden. After about 10 seconds, Seto-san's voice came through the smartphone again. "Hondo-kun, are you sure I'm the right person to talk to about this?" "Of course." The reason I started to think that I might like Shimizu-san, it all began during the training camp, and you're the only friend my age who knows what happened there. "I see. Can I continue?" "Yes, I want to hear more details." Seto-san's voice sounded a bit more excited than usual, perhaps because this conversation was a sort of love story. "Actually, I started thinking about my feelings for Shimizu-san quite a while ago." "How long ago?" "I think it was just before I joined the astronomy club." "That long ago?" Looking back, I don't think I've ever spent so much time pondering a single matter before. I kept thinking about it even after joining the astronomy club, but I couldn't come to a satisfying conclusion. "So why did you think you liked Shimizu-san during the camp?" "Remember when we went to the beach house during the camp, and you asked Ai-san what it means to fall in love?" "I remember. She said that wanting to be by someone's side forever is what love means to her." It seems Seto-san remembered that conversation. "Yes, and then Yaosuk-san confessed to Ai-san, saying he wanted to be by her side forever." "I remember that too, but how does that relate to you thinking you like Shimizu-san?" "I felt that both Ai-san and Yaosuk-san were saying that falling in love means wanting to be by someone's side. So, does Hondo-kun also want to be by Shimizu-san's side?" "I'd be happy if Shimizu-san were by my side. That's why I thought I might like her. But I wasn't sure, and I've been thinking about it ever since." "I see." Seto-san's voice then fell silent for a while. She was probably contemplating what I had just shared. "Do you think I like Shimizu-san, Seto-san?" "Fufu, Seto-san." "Sorry, I couldn't help it. It reminded me of a similar conversation we had before. Did we? As I traced my memories, I remembered the first time Seto-san and I talked about love. Indeed, at that time, Seto-san had asked me if she liked Toshia. We did have that conversation. Back then, the roles of the one asking and the one answering were reversed. Do you remember how you answered my question, Hondo-kun? Let's see, I think I said I didn't know if you liked Toshia. That's right, and my answer is the same. Do you mean you don't understand? Yes, I still don't quite grasp what it means to fall in love with someone. That's why I can't assert that Hondo-kun's feelings for Shimizu-san are love. I see. It's a strange feeling, a mix of slight disappointment and relief. What did I want Seto-san to say to me? But like Hondo-kun at that time, there is one thing I can say for certain. What's that? At that time, Hondo-kun told me. He said that it's undeniable that Matsuoka-kun is important to me. I remember having that kind of conversation with Seto-san during our first love talk. I still think so now. I also believe that Matsuoka-kun is an important presence to me, just like Shimizu-san is to Hondo-kun. Seto-san, I only started talking to Hondo-kun when we became second-year students, so I don't understand all of your feelings. But even so, I can tell that Hondo-kun thinks of Shimizu-san as someone precious from watching the two of you in the clubroom and the classroom. I'm surprised and momentarily at a loss for words. It seems Seto-san has been paying more attention to me and Shimizu-san than I thought. It's a bit embarrassing. Thank you, Seto-san. I haven't done anything that warrants thanks. Rather, I feel like apologizing for not being able to help more. No, I'm glad I consulted with you, Seto-san. Thank you for listening to me, really. I'm also glad that Hondo-kun relied on me. I can't see her face over the phone, but I get the feeling that Seto-san is smiling somehow. I'll think about it a bit more myself. Understood, I'm also rooting for you. Knowing that Seto-san is supporting me is reassuring. I thank her and hang up the phone. Summer vacation is drawing to a close. Do I like Shimizu-san? I continue to ponder the simple question in search of an answer. Section. One day towards the end of summer vacation, during a break at my part-time job, I enter the break room to find the tall, wolf-cut girl, Sakurai Kaho, sitting in a chair with a smile on her face. That's harsh, Kei-chan, making such a disgusted face. It's not just a face, I genuinely dislike this. I don't recall doing anything that Kei-chan would hate. That's just you conveniently altering your own memory. I glare at Kaho with all my might. However, Kaho doesn't falter, her smile unbroken. Kei-chan is so cute. I'm happy to see you here even after the astronomy club's camp. I'm not working here for you. I know, it's because Daiki-kun decided to keep working here, right? I'm at a loss for words, unable to deny Kaho's statement. I hadn't heard directly from Hondo that he was continuing the job, but after the camp, the manager had told me without me asking. If Hondo was continuing, then quitting wasn't an option for me. Though it slightly bothered me when the manager said, as expected, after I declared I would also continue. That expression means I hit the mark, right? GRRRs. Well, as for me, I'm happy if my cute kohai continue to work here. But let's put that aside. How was it, Kei-chan? What are you talking about? Don't play dumb, I'm talking about the camp. Come to think of it, before going to the camp, I vaguely remember that I was expected to share some good stories afterward. I heard from Ai that you talked about the camp here before. That's right, I did hear from Ai, but that was mainly about Ai's memories of the camp. I, for one, would like to hear about the camp from Kei-chan's perspective. Different viewpoints can lead to different memories. How was it with Hondo-kun? Why are you only asking about Hondo? Because that's what I'm most interested in hearing from Kei-chan. Was there any progress between you two during the camp? To be honest, I'm not sure if I owe Kaho the obligation to share my memories of the camp. But if I don't, I feel like she'll keep asking every time we meet in the break room. For the sake of future peace in the break room, I decide to share my camp memories with Kaho. Section, and that's what happened. I see. It must have been about 10 minutes since I started talking, and I've finished telling Kaho about my experiences at the camp. Are you satisfied with what you heard from me? Yes, I had heard from Ai, but it's really great that I and Yaosu-kun got together. Checking Kaho's expression, she's smiling as usual. However, there's something slightly different about her smile this time. What's wrong? Is there something on my face? Kaho looks puzzled. It seems I had been staring at her more blatantly than I thought. It's nothing. Really? Anyway, it seems this camp was quite fruitful for Kei-chan. What do you mean? From what I've heard, it seems like the emotional distance between Kei-chan and Hondo-kun has narrowed since before the camp. Is that so? I had felt that way myself, just a little, but hearing someone else say it doesn't feel bad. Kei-chan, you look happy. I am not happy. Your face is turning red. How cute. So what will Kei-chan do now? From our conversation earlier, I understand that Kei-chan has decided to be more proactive in appealing to Hondo-kun. But what exactly do you plan to do? That is, I haven't decided yet. Kei-chan, don't look at me with pity. Ever since returning from the camp, I've been thinking about ways to appeal to Hondo. However, I haven't come up with any satisfactory ideas. There are many things you could do, right? For example, inviting Hondo-kun on a date. I've thought about that too. But if I suddenly ask him out on a date, he might think it's weird. Kei-chan, you tend to underestimate yourself. I bet Hondo-kun would be happy if you asked him out. That's just because he's kind to everyone. True, Hondo-kun is kind, but I feel like his kindness towards Kei-chan is on another level. Well, it seems like Kei-chan wants to appeal to Hondo-kun, but can't quite take the plunge. Yeah, that's right. I want to close the distance between Hondo and me before this summer ends. Although that's what I'm thinking, I hate that I can't take action to make it happen. If only there was a good opportunity. If there was, I wouldn't be having this trouble. That's true. Oh. Did you think of something? Yeah, I just remembered it's about time to start preparing for that. Preparing? What are you talking about? Now that the training camp is over, was there something that needed to be prepared? The cultural festival. Oh, is it that time already? I remember talking about the cultural festival after we returned from the training camp. With all the preparations and activities during the festival, it could be a great chance for Kei-chan. Is there really such an opportunity? I think so. Kei-chan, you're in the same class and club as Hondo-kun, right? There should be plenty of chances to work together with him from the preparations to the main event. But whether you can make the most of those opportunities is up to you, Kei-chan. After saying that, Kaho left the break room, mentioning she had to go to her part-time job. I hadn't thought of the cultural festival as such an important event, but after hearing Kaho's words, my perspective changed. I vowed to myself in the now empty break room that I would close the distance between Hondo and me before the festival was over. Chapter 1. Shimizu-san and Deciding the Festival Event. Thank you all for gathering here today. Lower your voice a bit, my ears are ringing. A few days after speaking with Seto-san on the phone, we second-year members of the astronomy club were summoned to the clubroom by Ai-san and Yaosuk-san. I hadn't expected that all of us in the astronomy club would gather together again during the summer break. Ai-senpai, why have you called us here today? We hadn't been told in advance what the purpose of today's meeting was. Therefore, it was understandable that Seto-san was curious. To be honest, I also had no idea why we had been called. Fu, that's a good question, Mio-chan. The reason is, it's to decide on our event for the cultural festival, right? Kei-san, don't steal my lines. Judging by Ai-san's reaction, Shimizu-san's guess was spot on. Kei figured it out, huh? Yes, I gathered everyone here today to decide on our event for the cultural festival. Deciding on an event, I don't remember us doing anything for last year's cultural festival. Only cultural clubs are obligated to put on events at the cultural festival. Until last year, we were just a society, not a club. Societies are free to choose whether to do a presentation, so we didn't do one last year. I see. So now that we've become an official club, we need to put on an event for the cultural festival. That's right, and that's why I've gathered everyone here today to decide on the astronomy club's event. Our high school's cultural festival is just a month away after the end of the summer break. Some clubs might have already started preparing at this point. So, how are we going to decide on the event? Due to personal circumstances, I have student council work and will be quite busy during the preparation period for the cultural festival. That's why I'd prefer an event that doesn't require too much effort. Yes, and I have an idea for an event I want to do. Ai-san interrupted Yaosuk-san, enthusiastically raising her hand. Honestly, I have a bad feeling about this, but let's hear it. What do you want to do, Ai? That is, don't beat around the bush, just say it. Prompted by Shimizu-san, Ai-san took out a sheet of paper. A play. I want to do a play. Everyone else's gaze shifted to the paper I was holding, which was emblazoned with the words, "Youth who want to perform a play at the cultural festival, gather." I have a lot to say, but first, why a play? Thank you for asking. The reason I want to do a play at the cultural festival is, let me guess, it's not going to be a compelling reason. Hey, don't cut me off before I even start explaining. Let's at least hear her out, Shimizu-san. There was always a reason behind Ai-san's whims. There must be a proper reason this time as well. Fine, make it quick. Okay, the reason is simple. I thought it would be fun if everyone in the astronomy club did a play together. The clubroom was enveloped in silence. Ai-san looked puzzled as she observed the faces of Shimizu-san and Yaosuke-san. You've oversimplified it. There must be more you want to convey. Like, wanting the whole astronomy club to work hard together on one event. Don't skip that part. Can you explain a bit more about it? I was thinking that there aren't many more opportunities for the current members of the astronomy club to do something together. So, as I was walking down the hallway thinking about wanting to create a memorable experience, I saw this flyer and felt inspired to do a play. As expected, Ai-san had her own reasons. You didn't just take that paper without permission, did you? I properly got permission from the person who put up the flyer. Who's the owner of that paper? Well, I'll explain that later. Please do. Right now, we're in the middle of deciding what our cultural festival event will be. We can talk about the flyer after we've decided on the event. The conversation had gone off track, but I remembered that today's purpose was to decide on our event for the cultural festival. That's right, let's quickly decide on doing a play for our event. We said we'd decide, but we never said it would be a play. Ah, you betrayed me. I haven't betrayed anyone. I listened to your reasons for wanting to do a play, but I never agreed to it. Indeed, Yaosuke-san had only listened and had not expressed agreement. Why, I trusted you. Don't appeal to my conscience. As I said earlier, both you and I will be busy with student council work during the cultural festival preparation period. We also have to prepare for our class's event and study for exams. We can't allocate too much of our resources to the club's event. That's why I can't agree to a play. Ai-san looked pained. Yaosuke-san's words must have hit her hard. I understand you want to do a play, but you'll have to give up this time. No, I won't give up. If Yaosuke can't do it, I'll rely on our kohai. Do you have no pride as a senpai? None at all. Show some hesitation. As a junior, I wished Ai-san wouldn't be so blunt in her assertions. Mio-chan, you want to do a play, right? No, not at all. No hesitation there. Sato-san's expression remained unchanged, as usual. I've gotten better at it since before I started my part-time job, but I'm still a little uncomfortable speaking in front of people I don't know. I see, a play does involve performing in front of strangers. Why don't we consider a different event this time? But there must still be a chance for a turnaround. Next is Daiki-kun. Yes. I was called upon suddenly, so I reflexively responded. You really want to do a play, don't you, Daiki-kun? Don't pressure Hondo-kun. That sounds bad. I'm just asserting some seniority here. That's what people generally call pressuring. Anyway, don't you want to do the play, Daiki-kun? I hadn't given it much thought before. A play, I decided to express my honest feelings. It does sound interesting, but I'm concerned it might be a big burden on everyone. Oh, so personally, you're okay with giving it a try, Daiki-kun? Well, yes, I suppose. Isn't that a bit too positive? Life is all about taking a positive approach. That's one vote in favor. Ai-san's gaze shifted to the last member of the astronomy club, Shimizu-san. What is it? Kei, you want to do the play, right? Don't jump to conclusions. Give me a moment to think. Right after, my eyes met Shimizu-san's for some reason, but she quickly looked away. Thinking time over, so, what do you say, Kei-san? That's not much time to think. Well, I guess it's fine. That's another vote, including me, that's 3 votes. With this, the play is the majority choice. Just to be clear, this isn't final yet. What? Why not? Our advisor Yuasa-sensei said beforehand that she wants the club's activity for the cultural festival to be decided with everyone's agreement. I'm the club president, and I didn't receive that information. If Yuasa-sensei said so, then it's true that we can't decide on the activity by majority vote. That's why we need to decide on the cultural festival's activity in a way that leaves no one with regrets. Indeed, if someone ends up feeling bad about the activity, we won't all be able to enjoy the cultural festival. The clubroom fell silent all of a sudden. Everyone must be thinking about the activity in their own heads. Can I say something? The one who broke the silence was Seto-san. What is it, Mio-chan? Is it okay if I share what I've been thinking? Of course. What's on your mind? If we do the play, I think it would be difficult for me to perform in front of people as an actor. But if I could participate as a narrator instead, maybe I could do it. Seto-san had been considering how she could participate in the play in her own way. Wow, Mio-chan has a great voice, so that's perfect. That's an idea I hadn't thought of. Now, the only one who hadn't voted for the play was Yaosuke-san. Everyone's gaze turned to him. Do you really dislike the idea of doing a play, Yaosuke? It's not that I dislike it, but I will be busier than ever until the cultural festival. Are you okay with that? Of course. All right. If you say so, I have no reason to oppose. Yay. Ai-san expressed her joy by jumping up and down. Lastly, I want to confirm with everyone. I think putting on a play for the cultural festival is going to be tough. That's why the cooperation of the entire astronomy club is essential. Are you all prepared to support each other and work hard until the festival? In response to Yaosuke-san's question, the other 4 members nodded. Thus, the astronomy club's activity was decided to be a play. Now that we've decided on a play for the cultural festival, we need to start working out the details. What will we do? First, I want to consider the elements necessary for the play. For example, I've thought about what the theme of the play should be, who will write the script, and so on. We need to decide on at least these 2 things as soon as possible. Leave the script to me. Ai-san thrust the paper she had been holding in front of Yaosuke-san. By the way, whose paper is that? This was written by a second-year member of the drama club. If you look closely, it says, you could come to the drama club if you're interested, right? Indeed, the paper with youth who want to perform a play at the cultural festival. Gather, written on, it also had that line written below. What's the connection between that person and the script? This poster was originally written by that drama club member because they wanted to write a script. I'm not familiar with the drama club situation, but does that mean they want to write a script but aren't allowed to? It seems they are allowed to write, but the drama club's activity for the festival is already being handled by the 3rd-year seniors, so if they write a script, it won't be used for a play by the drama club until later. I see, so that person was looking for a group that would perform a play based on their script as soon as possible. That's right. So the script issue can be cleared if we ask that person for help. Having someone with scriptwriting experience would be a great help for the astronomy club, as none of its members had that experience. That would be a big help. Is everyone okay with that? All the second-year members of the astronomy club nodded in agreement. However, we were told that we don't have enough time until the cultural festival to create a script from scratch, so we need to decide on a base story. That connects to the earlier discussion about the theme of the play. Since it's the astronomy club's activity, it should be related to stars or the sky. And since there are only 5 of us, it would be better if the story had as few characters as possible. In that case, I have a suggestion. What is it, Mio-chan? Seto-san nodded silently, without changing her expression. I think the story of Oriheim and Hikoboshi would be a good theme for the play. Yaosuke-san listened to Seto-san's suggestion and showed a thoughtful expression. That's good. It's a famous story related to stars, and it doesn't have too many characters. I think it's a great idea too. Nice suggestion, Mio-chan. What do Shimizu-san and Hondo-kun think? Well, it's not bad. I think it's good too. Then I'm glad. Seto-san's expression doesn't change much, but she seems more relieved than before. Perhaps she was a bit nervous about proposing the theme. The theme for the play is decided. It's Oriheim and Hikoboshi. We've been asked to decide on the main casting as well, so let's ride this momentum and decide on that too. It took us less time to decide on the performance than I expected. Since we're at it, let's decide on that as well. In that case, as I mentioned earlier, I would like to do the narration. Okay, everyone's good with that, right? Shimizu-san, Yaosuke-san, and I all nod in agreement. Then, of course, for Oriheim and Hikoboshi, it's gotta be someone other than me and I. Yaosuke-san, did my horoscope this morning say it would be a good day for me to be betrayed a lot? There's no such pinpoint horoscope. I've said it many times, but it's certain that you and I will be busy until the cultural festival. There's no way we can take on roles with a lot of stage time in the play. Yaosuk-san, don't you want to play Orihime and Hikoboshi with me? Ai-san's eyes seem to be tearier than usual. Honestly, I don't want to. Why not? Let's show the audience through the play how lovey-dovey we are. I don't want to be thought of as being lovey-dovey with you in public while playing Orihime and Hikoboshi. Yaosuk-san still seems to have reservations about being affectionate with Ai-san in public, even though they are now a couple. Look at you blushing, Yaosuk-san, you're such a shy guy. Ai-san hugs Yaosuk-san tightly. Let go, aren't you embarrassed? Not at all. Ai-san's cheeks also seem to be slightly red, but it's probably best not to mention it. It took Yaosuk-san a few minutes to pry Ai-san off and persuade her. All right, for this time, I will stick to supporting roles. Good that you understand. Although not much time has passed, Yaosuk-san looks significantly more tired than before. Yeah, we'll spend the time until the cultural festival as a model couple for all the students. And keep it up even after the festival ends. I'll do my best. Let's get back to the topic. Regarding the casting, I'd like Hondo-kun to play Hikoboshi. What do you think? I'm taken aback by the sudden question, but if Yaosuk-san can't play Hikoboshi, I guess I'm the next candidate. Am I really okay for the role? I can't recall doing any serious acting since an elementary school presentation. Can someone like me handle a major role in a play? It's okay. I'm sure Daiki-kun can do it. I guarantee it. Yeah, I think Hondo-kun can play Hikoboshi too. Ai-san and Seto-san encourage me. Kei thinks Daiki-kun can do it too, right? Don't ask me. Well, if it's Hondo, he can probably do it. Shimizu-san's words give me a bit of confidence. Hondo-kun, will you take on the role of Hikoboshi? Okay, please let me do it. Okay, that settles it for Hikoboshi. Now we just need Orihime. I'll do it. Everyone's gaze shifts to the owner of the voice, Shimizu-san. Kei-san, what did you say? I said I'll play Orihime. If I and Seto can't do it, then by process of elimination, I have to do it. Is that really the only reason? Ai-san grins and questions Shimizu-san. There's no other reason. Shimizu-san's face seems to be redder than before for some reason. Anyway, that settles the main casting. Hikoboshi will be played by Hondo-kun, Orihime by Kei, narration by Seto, and the rest of the supporting roles will be done by me and I. Is everyone okay with this provisional casting? Everyone nods in agreement, and so the Astronomy Club began its activities for the cultural festival. Chapter 2, Shimizu-san and Observation. A few days after we decided to do a play for the cultural festival, I was walking to the Astronomy Club's clubroom with Shimizu-san, who was in her school uniform. I wonder what kind of person we're going to meet today. The reason we were at school during summer break was that Ai-san had called us in. When I asked why, it turned out that the person who would write our script wanted to meet us. I have no idea. Hopefully, someone we can easily get along with. I think it should be fine. Since they were going to the trouble of posting a notice to find someone to perform a play based on their script, they must be someone with initiative. While we were talking, we arrived at the Astronomy Club's clubroom. I knocked and opened the door. Ah, I've been waiting for you too. Inside the clubroom, besides Ai-san who had called us here, there was another girl sitting down, wearing glasses and the uniform of our high school, with hair reaching her shoulders. Hello, Ai-san, who is this? This is. I am a second-year student in the drama club, Imejima Runa. Please feel free to call me Runa. I was so overwhelmed by her loud voice that I couldn't immediately respond. She seems like someone I would get along with. Looking at Shimizu-san standing next to me, she seemed to be somewhat dismayed. Thank you for the compliment. That wasn't a compliment. Now, come on Kei and Daiki-kun, come sit down. Let's have a good long chat. Shimizu-san and I took our seats. So, she's the one who wanted to meet us. Yes, Runa-chan wanted to meet you too, so I asked you to come today. Oh, you two should introduce yourselves too. It's almost like a first meeting, since you've never been in the same class. That's right, we hadn't introduced ourselves yet. I had forgotten it due to the surprise of Imejima-san's introduction. I'm a second-year member of the Astronomy Club, Hondo Daiki. Nice to meet you. Yes, nice to meet you. Now it's Kei's turn. Give us a lively self-introduction. Don't raise the bar. I'm Shimizu Kei, a second year. I don't know why you want to meet me, but let's get this over with quickly. Ai-san was right, you are cool. Nice to meet you. I thought it before, but it seems like Runa-san isn't afraid of Shimizu-san, which is a bit of a relief. Introductions are done, what shall we talk about next? Who are you asking? Just to confirm, she's the one writing the script for us, right? Shimizu-san pointed at Imejima-san. That's right. You're in the same grade, so you can drop the formalities. It's kind of a habit, so please don't mind it. Imejima-san placed both hands on the desk and leaned in close to Shimizu-san. Okay, I get it, Imejima is. Please call me Runa. Imejima-san leaned even closer to Shimizu-san, who in turn leaned back, trying to put some distance between them. It's rare to see Shimizu-san pushed this much by anyone other than Ai-san. Is everything okay with the drama club activities, Runa? The drama club is also doing a play for the cultural festival, right? There's no problem with that. The script for the drama club's play is already mostly finished. There might be some revisions to make, but we have seniors in charge of the script, so it's all good. Is that so? If Runa-san herself says there's no problem, then that must be the case. However, there was something I was curious about, so I decided to ask. Imejima-san. Please call me Runa. Imejima-san, no, Runa, seems to prefer being called by her first name. Runa, why were you recruiting people to perform a play for the cultural festival? I wanted to see a play based on a script I wrote as soon as possible. It turns out that Runa wanted to see a play based on a script she had written as soon as possible. She had joined the drama club because she wanted to write scripts, but in the drama club, the script for the cultural festival's play is usually written by the third-year students, so Runa couldn't write one by herself. Therefore, wanting to see a play based on her own script, Runa posted a notice to recruit a group willing to perform a play for the cultural festival. I get the gist of it, but have you discussed this with the drama club's teacher and the other members? Yes. They all sent me off with their blessings. Are you sure that's okay? Aren't the drama club members just getting rid of a nuisance? Kei-san, you say some funny things. You have a sense of humor too. Runa is laughing, but I get the feeling Shimizu-san wasn't joking. Anyway, you don't need to worry about me. I will devote all I have to writing the script for the astronomy club. Her eyes seem to be blazing with fighting spirit. Runa-chan will perform with all our might too. Ai-san reached out her hand toward Runa. Thank you, Ai-san. Runa grasped Ai-san's hand firmly. What are we even watching here? Shimizu-san watched their handshake with a somewhat detached gaze. Sorry to dampen the mood, but why did you call us here today, Runa? We understood why Runa was recruiting a group for the cultural festival play, but the reason she wanted to meet Shimizu-san and me was still a mystery. That's right, I haven't mentioned it yet. If it's a pointless reason, I'm leaving. Given Shimizu's temperament, she might really leave if the reason was trivial. I called you two here today to see for myself what kind of people you are. The moment she said that, Shimizu-san stood up. Where are you going? I'm leaving. Where are you going? I'm going home. Why? Don't mimic I. At this rate, leaving Ai-san and Runa-san here perplexed, it seemed like Shimizu-san was really about to leave. Shimizu-san, why don't you at least listen to what Runa-san has to say in detail? It can't be helped. Shimizu-san took a seat next to me again. Good, it looks like she's willing to listen for now. So, Runa-san, why did you want to see Shimizu-san and me in person? The main roles in this play are for Shimizu-san and Daiki-san. I can't just write the script without knowing what kind of people you both are. Couldn't you just get a general idea about us from I? If I did that, it would only be Ai-san's perspective of you two, and there might be a discrepancy with who you actually are. I see. Indeed, even though Ai-san is well informed about Shimizu-san, relying solely on her account might introduce bias. Runa-san wanted to observe us with her own eyes to understand what kind of people we are. I understand Runa-san's situation, but in the end, what do we need to do? There's just one thing I'd like you two to do. What's that? Please act naturally, just as you always do, and let me observe you. What do you mean? I want to directly observe what kind of people you two are and what kind of relationship you have. Understanding that will help me get a lot of inspiration. Runa-san's eyes sparkled with determination as she spoke. So, Kei and Daiki-kun just need to act as usual, okay? That's right. Ai-san and Runa-san simultaneously gave us a thumbs up. You two are two in sync. We're soulmates, even though it hasn't even been a month since we met. So, are you two okay with Runa-chan observing your daily life? Well, I guess I'm fine with that. All three sets of eyes turned to me. My answer was already decided. I'm okay with it too. Then it's settled. Let the daily observation by Runa-chan begin. Just talk as you normally would, both funny and interesting. Don't set the bar so high. Well, I'll just talk casually, Hondo. Right, Shimizu-san, have you been well since the training camp ended? Yeah. Then that's good. The conversation stalled. Strange, I can't seem to keep the conversation going as usual. How about you? I've been fine too. I see. Once again, the conversation paused. Even though Shimizu-san started talking to me, I couldn't keep it going. What's wrong with me today? Ever since I became conscious that I might like Shimizu-san, I hadn't had the chance to talk with her alone until today. But I didn't expect to be this unable to converse. Are you two okay? You can think of me as a wall if that helps. I can be wall number 2 if you like. Shut up, if you're walls then be quiet and watch. Ahate. I couldn't help but laugh. I reflexively looked at Shimizu-san, who seemed somehow relieved. You finally look like your usual self. Hi. I don't know if you're nervous because Runa is here, but your face has been a bit tense. I hadn't realized it at all. You always pay such close attention to Hondo-kun. Anyone would notice if they looked, and if you're a wall, don't talk. It's cute when you're embarrassed. Daiki-kun thinks so too, right? That's true. There's no doubt that a blushing Shimizu-san is cute. What are you saying? Shimizu-san's face turned redder by the second. Kei's embarrassed face is a treasure of the world. This is common knowledge. Cut it out, I'll bury you in a wall. Oh, scary, scary. Then I guess I'll go back to being wall number 2. With that, Ai-san went silent again. Remember this when we get home. Shimizu-san glared at Ai-san, but it seemed to have no effect. Thank you, Shimizu-san. For what? From her expression, it seemed Shimizu-san really didn't understand. For worrying about me just now. You don't need to thank me for that. Shimizu-san is kind. You're about the only one who would say that. I'm sure there are others who feel the same, but just don't say it. You always have to have the last word. Somehow, I felt like I was starting to get back into the usual rhythm of talking with Shimizu-san. Precious. Turning towards the source of the voice, I saw Runa-san, who was supposed to be just a wall, looking up at the sky with tearful eyes. What are you doing? I am so sorry. I had heard about the two of you from Ai-san beforehand, but the reality was more overwhelming than I imagined, and I got carried away with my emotions. I wonder how Ai-san had explained it to her. I don't get it, but should Hondo and I keep talking? Yes, please. This time I will truly become one with the wall, so please go ahead. Got it. Hey Hondo, got any topics in mind? Well, let's see. Oh right, Taruno wanted to meet Shimizu-san. Who is Taruno-san? Runa-san, who was supposed to be a wall, asked Ai-san, who is also supposed to be a wall. Daiki-kun's little sister. Taruno-chan is really fond of Kei. What? You not only know Daiki's sister, but are also close to her. I'm not saying anything more. Shimizu-san seemed to have concluded that it was impossible for the two of them to simply observe our conversation. Taruno really wants to meet Shimizu-san, so she's insisting on coming to the cultural festival. Could you talk to her if she comes? Well, I guess that's fine. Am I the only one who notices her lips curving up more than before? You seem happy, Kei-san. Kei loves Taruno-chan after all. It seems my impression wasn't wrong. Thank you, Shimizu-san. Taruno will definitely be happy. She's about the only one weird enough to want to meet me. I enjoy meeting with Shimizu-san too, you know. Only you and Taruno, that's it. Amazing. Is this how you always talk? That's how it is in the clubroom. As expected of Daiki-kun, a true gentleman of the astronomy club. I wonder what Runa-san and Ai-san are talking about. After that, Shimizu-san and I continued our conversation, forgetting that we were being observed, talking about whether we had finished our summer homework, what we had been doing since the training camp, and so on. Oh, is it that time already? When I checked the time, more than an hour had already passed since we started talking. You two were so engrossed in your conversation that you forgot about the time and us. You guys stopped talking halfway through and really made yourselves invisible. Today, Ai-san and I are the wall. Why do you sound so happy about that? So Runa, are you satisfied with our talk? Yes, I am extremely, 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 extremely satisfied. I was a bit worried since it was just the usual conversation with Shimizu-san, but Runa-san's expression seemed genuinely content. Runa-chan, do you think you can write a good script? Of course, my creative drive is skyrocketing. Then I'm looking forward to a great script. Leave it to me. Ai-san and Runa-san exchanged a passionate handshake. Please look forward to it, both of you. Yeah, good luck, Runa-san. Make sure it's a good script. With encouragement from both of you, I can't afford to slack off. Now I must get started on writing the script, so I'll call it a day here. Ai-san, Kei-san, and Deki-san, thank you so much for today. With those words, Runa-san headed towards the door. Just as she was about to leave the room, she seemed to remember something and turned back to us. What is it? Kei-san, I'm also rooting for you. Wah? Runa-san smiled and finally left the room. That's nice, you've got one more person cheering for you. That girl, she's not getting off easy the next time I see her. I didn't quite understand, but it seemed that the other two got Runa-san's intention. What did Runa-san's last words mean? She was probably cheering for Kei, who's going to play a major role in the play for the first time. I see. It was Runa-san's way of showing concern, but Shimizu-san's reaction seemed a bit off. That girl, I'll take her down. Shimizu-san wouldn't normally say something so ominous about someone who's simply showing support. Could it be her way of hiding embarrassment? Don't worry, Runa-chan isn't the type to spread things around. Where did she go? Don't try to delete her directly. In the end, it took Ai-san more than enough time to calm down Shimizu-san, who was on the verge of going berserk. Chapter 3, Shimizu-san and the Improvisational Theater. Thank you all for gathering here today. One day, as the second semester was fast approaching, Shimizu-san, Seto-san, and I were in the drama club's room with Runa-san. We were there because Runa-san, through Ai-san, had asked us to come. That's fine and all, but are we allowed to just use the drama club's room like this? Don't worry, I've already obtained permission in advance. Well, if that's the case, it's fine. So, why did you call us here today? That is because... Don't beat around the bush, just tell us. I want to see everyone's current expressive abilities. Expressive abilities. I wondered if it was something like acting ability. As I thought this, Seto-san, who was sitting next to Shimizu-san, raised her hand slightly. Imejima-san, may I ask a question? Please call me Runa. Runa-san, I'm just doing narration, but do I need to show expressive abilities too? Yes, indeed. Narration isn't just about reading from a script. I personally believe expressive ability is essential. I see, got it. I actually wanted to invite the 2 third-year students as well, but they are busy with student council activities for the cultural festival. So today I would like to see the expressive abilities of everyone here. So that's why Ai-san and Yaosuk-san weren't here today. So, to show our expressive abilities, what should we do? There are various ways to gauge expressive ability, but this time, I thought we could try improvisational theater. Improvisational theater. Exactly. It's a play performed on the spot without a script, where the actors come up with the setting and lines as they go. From what I heard, it seemed quite challenging. I wondered if we could really do it. Can amateurs like us really do that right away? It seemed Shimizu-san had similar concerns. It might not go smoothly at first, but I think you'll understand the joy of acting if you try. Could you please give it a shot, thinking of it as being tricked into having fun? I see, so we don't have to try to act perfectly from the start. Perhaps I had set the bar too high for myself. Well, it'd be weird to come all this way and not do anything, so I guess I'll give it a try. Thank you, Kei-san. I'd like to try as well. Deki-san too. Everyone's gaze focused on Seto-san. Seto-san, since you're here, why not give improv a try if you don't mind? If the two of you are doing it, then I will too. Runa-san's anxious face brightened instantly. Thank you, everyone. Let's start preparing for the improvisational theater. After that, Runa-san began preparing briskly. So how do we start this improvisational theater? Do we really just start without deciding anything? This time, let's decide on our roles beforehand with this. Runa-san was holding a square box made of cardboard that she had seemingly prepared out of nowhere. There was a round hole in the box, and on the side, it was labeled Modern High School Girl. What's this? Inside this box are slips of paper with different roles for the improvisational theater. I'd like you to draw one and then perform the role that comes out. Ah, and don't worry, Deki-san, there's a separate draw for boys. So, I just need to draw from this. Yes. Runa-san thrust the box in front of Shimizu-san. Shimizu-san tentatively reached into the box and pulled out a slip of paper. What does it say? Hold on, hey, Runa. What is it? Shimizu-san thrust the open slip of paper in front of Runa-san. What's this about a stepsister? Whose stepsister am I supposed to be? Runa-san adjusted her glasses frame. For a moment, I thought I saw the lenses sparkle. You've drawn a good role. As for whose stepsister you are, that's for Kei-san to decide. It could be Daiki-san, Mio-san, or someone else entirely. You're free to decide. I'll decide after seeing the others' roles. That's fine too. Now Mio-san, please draw next. Seto-san reached into the box and pulled out a slip of paper. My role is a childhood friend. Can it be anyone's childhood friend? Of course, now it's Daiki-san's turn. Please draw from this box for boys. Runa-san took a box labeled Modern High School Boy and handed it to me. I reached into the box and pulled out a slip of paper. Unfolding the paper, it read Kind Brother. What does it say? It says Kind Brother. Why is your role the only one with a bit more definition? That's up to the creator's taste. So it's your taste? No, it's not. This is the prompt box we usually use for improv in the drama club, so I'm not the creator. I wondered who the creator of this prompt box was. It piqued my curiosity, but I felt it might be better not to ask. Now that everyone has their roles, how do we start the improvisational theater? This time, I'll randomly decide on a setting, and you'll act according to that setting and your roles. Let's make it last about 10 minutes. I'll let you know when the time is up. Got it. The setting will be Daiki-san's room. If there are no other concerns, shall we start? Any questions? I don't have any. Me neither. I'm fine too. Understood. Don't panic even if you get stuck along the way. Okay, let's start the improv. With Runa-san's voice, the first improvisational theater by the second-year members of the astronomy club began. First, I checked on Shimizu-san and Seto-san. Both seemed to be waiting to see how others would act just like me. I didn't know the right way to start, but if we all stayed silent, it wouldn't be much of an improv. So I decided to start talking. Shimizu-san, have you finished today's assignment? Assignment? Yes, I've finished it. Shimizu-san looked surprised for a moment, but quickly understood my intention. That's good to hear. I wouldn't be lounging around here otherwise. Seto-san, did you have any trouble with today's assignment? No problems. Seto-san's expression didn't change. Maybe she was a bit nervous about our first improv, as her speech seemed slightly more awkward than usual. It's great that Seto-san also did the assignment diligently. Thank you. What should I do? I started without thinking ahead about what to do next. What's the matter, staring at Hondo like that? Hearing Shimizu-san's words, I turned my gaze to Seto-san. Indeed, Seto-san was staring straight at me. Is it okay if I say something that's been on my mind? Sure. Why do you two, even though you're already family, call each other by your last names? What are you suddenly talking about? What does it mean that Shimizu-san and I are family? It took me a few seconds to remember the roles Shimizu-san and I were playing. It's still embarrassing to call each other by first names. Hey, what are you saying now? Shimizu-san didn't seem to understand yet. Because it's only been a month since we became siblings, the feeling of being a family still hasn't sunk in. I see. I forgot I was supposed to be the younger stepsister. Yes, my role was the kind brother, and Shimizu-san's role was the stepsister. Seto-san had taken advantage of our roles and set us up as step-siblings. Maybe Seto-san's acting was a bit awkward earlier because she was thinking about this setup. I see, Hondo-kun feels a bit embarrassed to call each other by first names. What about you, Kei? Why are you suddenly calling me by my first name? What are you talking about? I've always called you Kei. Are you my childhood friend? That's right, Seto-san's role was the childhood friend. It seems Seto-san decided to make Shimizu-san her childhood friend. So Kei, why don't you call Hondo-kun by his first name? GRRRs. Glaring at me won't change anything. Well, there's no need to rush into changing how you call each other, right? But since Kei is already a Hondo, family name, I think it's better to change from calling her Shimizu-san. Now Seto-san's attention turned towards me. Even if she's only your sister by marriage, you should call Kei by her first name. I looked at Shimizu-san. Our eyes met for a moment, but she quickly looked away. Just say Kei. Go on, try saying it. It wasn't that difficult, really, but something inside me hesitated. Seto-san thinks it's strange for us to call each other by last names even though we're siblings, right? Yes, that's what I think. What about Kei-chan then? Kei-chan. Yeah, it's like a nickname. It's not a last name, so I thought it might be okay. It might be good. Good, I was worried it would be rejected. No way, what's with Kei-chan? Just when I felt relieved, it was vetoed by the person herself. Kei, are you not okay with being suddenly called by your first name by Hondo-kun? That is, you don't want to be called Kei-chan by Hondo-kun. Shimizu-san's gaze darted around. You don't want your kind Oni-chan to call you Kei-chan. Seto-san's presence felt stronger than usual. Maybe she was really getting into her role as the childhood friend. All right. Call me whatever you want. Then Hondo-kun. Her expression was the same as always, but the pressure was intense. Let me say it again, I'm looking forward to getting along with you, Kei-chan. Yeah. Now that Hondo-kun has changed the way he calls you, it's Kei's turn. Huh? Didn't you hear? It's strange to call each other by last names when you're family. Change how you call each other. You want me to call Hondo by his first name. There are other ways to call someone besides that. Perhaps she meant for Shimizu-san to use a nickname, just like I did. What should I call him? Even if it's out of obligation, Kei is Hondo-kun's sister. Use that to your advantage. Hey, what's this? The atmosphere is getting suspicious. Oni-chan, Oni-san, Nick-san, there are many ways to call someone. Who would say that? My real sister, Teruno, also calls me Oni-chan. I've never thought it was strange. But I can certainly understand why Shimizu-san would be reluctant to call me Oni-chan. What, you got a problem with that? Well, it's too much for Kei, I'll give up. She's clearly provoking him. It's rare for Seto-san to tease Shimizu-san. Having seen Ai-san tease Shimizu-san all the time, she must be imitating her. I'll do it. I didn't hear you, say it again. I said I'll do it, it's a piece of cake. Really? Then say it to Hondo-kun. Shimizu-san and Seto-san's gazes turned towards me. Well, you know. Kei-chan, it's okay not to force yourself. I said I'll do it, just wait. Shimizu-san takes a deep breath to compose herself. Kei-chan, please take care of me from now on, Aniki. After saying just that, Shimizu-san turned away. It's over. Thank you, everyone, for the 10-minute improvisational theater. With Runa-san's announcement, the first improvisational theater by the second-year members of the astronomy club came to an end. Has it been 10 minutes already? Yes, how was your first improvisational theater? There's a lot I want to say, but was this how it's supposed to be? I think it was good. I was a little worried, but if Runa-san from the drama club says it's good, then it probably was. How did we do in your eyes? May I speak my personal opinion? That's what I'm asking. Runa-san's gaze shifts towards me and Seto-san. Do Daiki-san and Mio-san want to hear it too? I'd like to know. I'm interested. Understood. First, Daiki-san, it was great that you took the initiative to start talking. It seemed to make it easier for the other two to join in. Good job. Runa-san gives me a thumbs up with a smile. It was helpful that you started the conversation. Well, it definitely made things easier. Thank you. It's a bit ticklish to be praised face-to-face like this. Next, Mio-san. Not only did you play your role well, but you also enhanced the performances of the other two. Your acting that utilized the setting of the improvisational theater was excellent. Thank you. Seto-san's expression doesn't change, but her face seems to have a slight blush. Maybe she's a little embarrassed. Thanks to Seto-san, we didn't get stuck in the middle of the play. Thank you. There were a lot of wild pitches, though. I thought that made it more interesting. I feel like I saw a different side of Seto-san than usual. Lastly, Kei-san, I think your acting was the most emotional. Each of your performances was heartfelt and enjoyable to watch. That's a compliment, right? Of course. Maybe it means you were able to act naturally. Shimizu-san, your reactions were good. You were just teasing me. Everyone had their shining moments, and it was a very good improvisational theater. Runa-san looks pleased. So, is the improvisational theater over now? No, let's change the situation and do it again. With that, Runa-san brings over a different box than before. On the side of the box, it was written, Fantasy Girl. Please draw one piece of paper from inside. Since Shimizu-san drew first last time, can I draw this time? Go ahead. Seto-san pulls out a piece of paper from the topic box. What role did you get? A witch. Wow, a witch role? That's a unique and interesting character in fantasy. I'm looking forward to Mio-san's portrayal of a witch. So that's the direction of fantasy. I wonder what other roles there are. Is it my turn next? Shimizu-san takes a piece of paper from the topic box that Runa-san is holding. What role did you get? Shimizu-san was trembling for some reason. I wondered what kind of role she had drawn. Hey, what's with probably a princess? Is it a princess or not? Which is it? When I looked at the paper Shimizu-san thrust forward, it indeed had probably a princess written on it. The word probably was deliberately added to allow for infinite interpretations. What kind of princess you choose to portray is up to you, Kei-san. So basically, you're just throwing it all on me. It was understandable why Shimizu-san would think that way. Lastly, Daiki-san, please draw from this theme box. Okay, got it. I pulled a paper from the fantasy boy theme box. Written on it was, a kind and cool prince. What's this? Hondo, what does it say? I silently showed Shimizu-san the paper I had drawn. A kind and cool prince? Whoever wrote this must be the same person who wrote Kind Brother. That's great, a kind and cool prince. The aspiration of young girls' dreams. So it can't just be any prince. Even a regular prince would be a high hurdle for me. Yes, it specifically says kind and cool, so please try to portray the prince as you imagine him to be. Okay, before we start the improvisation, let's change into costumes, since we have the chance. What are we changing into? Everyone will change into costumes that match their roles. Kei-san will wear something princess-like, Mio-san something witch-like, and Daiki-san something prince-like. The drama club has a lot of costumes for plays, so we'll lend you ones that fit your roles. Is it okay to just wear them? We've already got permission, so it's fine. The fact that we had permission meant that there had been plans to change into costumes for the improvisation from the start. Do we really have to wear them? Shimizu-san didn't seem too keen on the idea. If you don't want to wear one, you don't have to force yourself. However, Kei-san, you'll have the chance to change into costumes for the astronomy club's play as well, so it might be good to get used to wearing one here, right? Ahem. And Daiki would like to see you in a princess costume, right? All eyes turned to me. I hadn't expected to be brought into the conversation so suddenly, and a strange voice escaped me. Is that true, Hondo? Shimizu-san looked at me with an anxious expression. I decided to be honest about what I was thinking. Well, if Shimizu-san doesn't mind, I'd like to see you dressed as a princess. All right, make sure it's a proper costume. Of course, please wait a moment while I fetch the costumes. With that, Runa-san left for the drama club's room. Section, wonder if everyone will come soon. I wondered how much time had passed since I had changed into my costume and returned from the dressing room. I was alone in the drama club's room. The costume I had been lent was a Western-style outfit based on white. I was inwardly amazed at the high quality of the costume when I heard a knock on the door. May I come in? Yes. The person who entered the drama club's room was Runa-san. She had gone with Shimizu-san and Seto-san to help them change into their costumes. Wow, Daiki-san, the costume suits you. You already have the vibe of a kind prince. Thank you. How about Shimizu-san and Seto-san? They've both finished changing, so I think they'll be here soon. As we were talking, the door opened again. Entering the room was Seto-san, dressed in a pitch-black dress with a black pointed hat on her head. Hondo-kun, that costume looks good on you. Thank you. Seto-san, you also look great in the witch costume. Right, I think Mio-san's cool demeanor and the jet black witch costume are a perfect match. Thank you. If someone else had worn the witch costume, I think it would have felt more like cosplay. With that in mind, Seto-san seemed to carry the witch costume well. You both look wonderful. Now we just have to wait for Kei-san to arrive. Speaking of which, Seto-san, weren't you with Shimizu-san? Yeah, we came together until just in front of the club room. All eyes focused on the door. Looking closely, the door was slightly ajar and someone seemed to be peeking through. Wait a moment. Seto-san said and quickly moved toward the door, then flung it open with force. There stood Shimizu-san, dressed in a light blue gown with a surprised look on her face. What are you doing, Shimizu-san? What do you mean what? I was just mentally preparing, something like that. You had plenty of time for that in the dressing room, didn't you? Don't spill it. Come on, get inside. Do you want other people to see you like this? Reluctantly, Shimizu-san entered the room. Why did you stop at the door after coming all this way together? That's because... Is it because you were embarrassed to be seen? You know that, and yet you ask. I took a moment to look at Shimizu-san. She was wearing a light blue off-the-shoulder long dress, and her hair was neatly braided. On top of her head sat a tiara. She looked exactly like a princess from a storybook. Deiki-san. Hearing that voice, I snapped to attention. It seemed I had been too focused on looking at Shimizu-san. Sorry. It's fine, but I think it would be good if you shared your thoughts with Kei-san as well. No need. Let's get on with the improvisation already. No, we'll start after Hondo-kun has shared his thoughts. What right do you have to say that? I was a little unsure whether to share my thoughts or not, but I decided to choose the option I wouldn't regret. My heart felt like it was beating faster than usual, so I took a deep breath just once. Shimizu-san, can I say something? Sure. I think that costume suits you very well and looks beautiful. You look like a real princess from somewhere. If you say the same thing to someone else, I'll knock you out. I was glared at fiercely, but I didn't feel the usual pressure. Do you think I would say the same thing if someone else wore the same costume? And I'm sure I won't be as nervous as when I told Shimizu-san how I felt right now. You should just honestly say you're happy. Shut up. Well then, now that preparations are complete, shall we start the second round of improvisation? Are there any changes from the first round? We took more time to change than expected, so due to the time constraints of renting this place, we would like to shorten it to 5 minutes this time. You are free to act as you wish during those 5 minutes. Before we start, is there anything else anyone wants to check? Shimizu-san and Seto-san shook their heads. I didn't have anything in particular to check either. We can start. Understood. Then, let's begin the second round of improvisation. Silence flowed through the drama club's room for a moment. It was Seto-san who broke it. The magic was successful. The clothes have turned into a beautiful dress, so now you can go to the prince. Are you ready, Shimizu-derella? You're calling me Shimizu-derella. Who else would I be talking about? The pun is terrible. What's with that Shimizu-derella thing? It was probably a name made by mixing Shimizu and Cinderella. It turned out to be quite a name as a result. There's no use lamenting your name now. Seto-san seemed intent on sticking with the name Shimizu-derella during this improvisation. You're the one who named me. Well, whatever, how do I get to the prince? By carriage. We don't need such a thing. With that, Seto-san snapped her fingers. What are you doing? We've arrived. Hi. We've arrived at the place where the prince is. With my magic, it's instantaneous. You can teleport. The witch that Seto-san was playing seemed to have a setting where she could warp with a snap of her fingers. The prince is currently alone in his room. We won't be disturbed at this time. This was no time to be dazed. I had to participate in the improvisation too. You guys, this is my room, but what are you doing here? And how did you even get in here in the first place? Hey, what do we do now? We're basically trespassers. It's fine. I've used magic so that no sound from this room can leak outside, and I've made it so the door can't be opened. I quickly pretended to try opening the door. It really won't open. That's not what I want to hear. Even the prince is confused. Everything is ready. Now, Shimizu-derella, all you need to do is convey your feelings to the prince. What? Shimizu-san's face turned red in an instant. She was clearly flustered. Come on, convey your long-held feelings to the prince. Saying that, Seto-san went behind Shimizu-san and pushed her back. Shimizu-san managed to stop right in front of me. Are you okay? Ew. The conversation paused. If this continued, the improvisation would come to a halt. I made up my mind and decided to start talking. Wait, we've met before, haven't we? Our eyes met. I silently nodded, hoping she would follow along. Why, yeah. It seemed my intention got across. I thought so. You've grown so much that I didn't recognize you at first. Aren't you angry that I suddenly came into your room? Honestly, I was surprised at first. But now, I'm just happy to see you again. The time I spent with you wasn't long, but it was really enjoyable. I felt surprisingly natural as I spoke. You. So why did you come to see me? That is, if it's hard to say, you don't have to. I'm just happy to see you again. Shimizu-san was silent for a few seconds before slapping her cheeks with both hands. No, I'll say it. That's why I had the witch bring me here. There seemed to be a resolve in her eyes. All right, then tell me why you came here. I came here because I have something I want to tell you. Time's up, 5 minutes have passed. Everyone, well done on the second improvisational play. At that moment, Shimizu-san collapsed on the spot. I hurriedly crouched down to check on Shimizu-san's expression. She seemed a bit tired, but there were no changes in her complexion. Shimizu-san, are you okay? No problem. I just let my guard down a bit. Shimizu-san slowly stood up. Relieved that it didn't seem to be anemia or anything serious, I smiled. Everyone did great acting in the second round too. Do you think you can write a good script? Yes. I'm so eager to start writing right away. It was good to see Runa-san's creative spirits were high. We don't have much time left, right? Let's hurry up and change. With that, Shimizu-san left the drama club's room. Seto-san and Runa-san followed suit. I wonder what Shimizu-san was trying to say at the end. No one was left to answer the question that I couldn't ask immediately. I left the clubroom to change back into my regular clothes. Chapter 4, Shimizu-san and Shopping. Daiki, wait up for a moment. It was a week into the second term, and as I was about to head to the astronomy club's room after school, Toshia called out to me. What's up, Toshia? There's something I need to ask you. What is it? I want you to come with me on a shopping trip. Shopping? Oh, for the class's festival booth. Our class decided on a festival-themed presentation for the event. Specifically, we were going to make and sell food like yakisoba and takoyaki. Yeah, we don't need to buy the ingredients just yet, but we do need to buy decorations and check the prices of ingredients at the store to set our prices. I said I'd do it, but I don't think I can finish it all in one day by myself. So please, I'm begging you, help me with the shopping. I wanted to help Toshia if possible, but there was something I needed to check first. I'm supposed to have drama practice with the astronomy club today, so is it okay if I ask Shimizu-san and Seto-san first? Oh right, the astronomy club is putting on a play for the festival. If you're busy with practice, I can ask someone else. Does it look like you'll be free? We were planning to do a script reading with just me, Shimizu-san, and Seto-san today, so I think they'll understand if I explain the situation. Don't push yourself too hard, okay? Yeah, then let's go to the astronomy club's room to check with them. All right. Toshia and I grabbed our things and headed to the astronomy club's room. Section, so that's the situation, but would it be okay if I went shopping with Toshia? A few minutes after arriving in the clubroom, I explained the situation to Shimizu-san and Seto-san. I understand the situation. You can go shopping with Matsuoka-kun, but there's one condition. What do I need to do? Take me and Shimizu-san along with you on the shopping trip. Hi. I let out a strange voice because it was an unexpected condition. What are you saying, Seto? It wouldn't be very meaningful for just me and Shimizu-san to practice alone. It would be more productive to help you too. That might be true, but Matsuoka-kun, having more people to help with the shopping would be better, right? That might be true. Toshia was hesitant, probably because Shimizu-san might come along. Toshia still felt uncomfortable around Shimizu-san. Then it's decided, let's go quickly. Hey, I haven't agreed to go yet. Are you not going? Then will you wait here alone? I didn't say I wouldn't go. It seemed Shimizu-san preferred going shopping with everyone rather than waiting alone. And so, the four of us decided to go shopping for our class's festival booth. Section, so we've made it here, but what should we do? After leaving the school and walking for a while, the four of us arrived at the shopping mall. Well, like I told Daiki earlier, there are two main things I was asked to do. One is to buy decorations to spruce up the classroom for the festival. The other is to check the prices of ingredients for yakisoba and takoyaki. If there are two things to do, we should split up. That's a good idea, especially since there are four of us. How about we divide into pairs? The moment I said that, Toshia and Shimizu-san's expressions clouded over slightly. It might take time, but isn't it okay if all four of us stick together? Hearing that, I finally realized. Toshia and Shimizu-san didn't want to be paired with each other. It was clear that Toshia, and probably Shimizu-san too, wouldn't feel comfortable being paired with someone they were uneasy about. I hadn't considered their feelings enough. No, I think it's better if we split into pairs. Seto, you. It's definitely more efficient that way, don't you think so, Hondo-kun? Our eyes met. Seto-san must understand how Toshia and Shimizu-san feel. Yet she suggested splitting into pairs, so she must have her reasons. Like I said before, I think it's better to split into pairs. What do you two think? Not just Seto-san, but Daiki too. Matsuoka-kun, do you disagree? Seto-san, that look is unfair. What will you do, Toshia? All right. Let's split into pairs. Shimizu-san, is that okay with you? All eyes turned to Shimizu-san. That's fine, do whatever you want. Then everyone, please throw out either rock or paper. We'll decide the pairs based on that. Got it, I'll give the signal. Ready, set, go. On the cue, everyone thrust their hands forward. Section, we've got the prices for the vegetables. What ingredient should we check next? I think we should look at the yakisoba noodles. All right, let's go then. Understood. It must have been about 20 minutes since we arrived at the shopping mall. I was with Seto-san in the grocery section, checking the prices of ingredients for yakisoba and takoyaki. I wonder if the other two are okay. The moment it was decided that Toshiya and Shimizu-san would be a pair, they both had looks of despair. They had both said that they didn't need to change pairs, but I wondered if they were managing the shopping without any problems. I don't know if they're okay. Seto-san seemed worried too, but that left me with a question. Seto-san, you were the one who said it was better to split up. I thought you said that knowing this pairing might happen, but was I wrong? No, you're not wrong. I thought it would be fine even if this pairing happened. Why? You knew they both had a hard time with each other, right? I don't think Seto-san would do something that Toshiya and Shimizu-san would dislike without a reason. I hold Matsuoka-kun and Shimizu-san in special regard. I understand that, but that's why I wanted to create an opportunity for the two of them to get along better. I see, so Seto-san wanted them to become friends. If that was the intention behind inviting Shimizu-san for the shopping trip, it makes sense. It would be nice if Toshiya and Shimizu-san could get along well. Seto-san nodded affirmatively. If the two of them aren't getting along, I'd like you to help me follow up later. Understood. Thank you, Hondo-kun. There's no need to thank me. They're both important to me too. But I'm surprised you're so concerned about their relationship, Seto-san. After getting along with Shimizu-san, I started to care. They just don't know each other well enough, and I thought they could become friends if there was some kind of trigger. Indeed, Toshiya and Shimizu-san haven't had many chances to talk just the two of them. Considering that, this incident might be a chance for them to get closer. I'd be happy if that were the case. Seto-san seemed to have a slightly more uplifted smile than usual. Section. What are we buying next? Origami paper for decorations. Got it. Then let's go. We moved through the shopping mall in silence. How long had it been since I parted ways with Hondo and Seto? Matsuoka and I had been shopping one item after another as we moved through the mall. The atmosphere between Matsuoka and me alone could be described, to put it mildly, was terrible. There was hardly any conversation, and Matsuoka seemed to be on guard around me the whole time. Sigh. I couldn't help but let out a sigh. If it had come to this, I shouldn't have come along for the shopping. The other three would have had a more enjoyable time at the mall without me. I'm sorry, Shimizu-san. It seemed that Matsuoka had heard my sigh. It's not your fault. No, if your partner wasn't me but Daiki, this wouldn't have happened. Why are you bringing up Hondo's name now? Huh. But isn't it because Daiki is here today that Shimizu-san came? That is. Matsuoka and I hadn't talked much directly. Despite that, why was he so sharp about this? I can see that much at least. I've seen you talking with Daiki in the classroom. Indeed, it wasn't unusual for me to talk with Hondo in the classroom. But even if that's the case, when you talk with Daiki, Shimizu-san, you look genuinely happy. Why? It seemed Matsuoka had been paying more attention to Hondo and me than I thought. That's why I feel sorry. It was rare to see Matsuoka looking so downcast. He seemed to be reflecting on something. Like I said before, it's not your fault. Besides, if that were the case, I'd have to apologize for not being Seto, right? Huh, did I ever tell Shimizu-san that I like Seto-san? Shoot, I had taken for granted that Matsuoka liked Seto, but that information was something I had overheard from Hondo and Matsuoka's love talk. You're the same, it's obvious from your attitude. It turned into a lame excuse because I couldn't honestly admit to eavesdropping on their love talk. So that's how it was. I thought you had heard it from Daiki. Matsuoka seemed to think I had learned about his feelings for Seto from another source. Hondo wouldn't spread that around even if he knew. Indeed. Well, I'm not trying to hide it from anyone other than the person in question, so if Daiki thinks it's okay to tell someone, then I don't mind. Do you think I wouldn't tell Seto about your feelings? I might have doubted you before, but now I think Shimizu-san wouldn't say anything. Why? Because Daiki and Seto-san trust Shimizu-san. Matsuoka said that with a smile. You really trust them, huh? Of course, they're my best friend and the person I like. Somehow, his smile seemed brighter than ever. You're amazing. Thank you. He didn't seem to understand why he was being praised. Think before you thank me. And I've been meaning to say this, but you don't need to use honorifics with me. Won't you get angry if I suddenly start speaking informally? I won't. What do you take me for? Because in the past, when I tried to talk to you, you glared at me so fiercely. That, I don't remember at all, but sorry. There were too many instances that came to mind, and I couldn't recall that specific one. As I was digging through my memories, Matsuoka suddenly burst into laughter. It's just as Daiki said. What are you talking about all of a sudden? Back in our first year, Daiki said that Shimizu-san is kind and funny. After talking to you today, I understand. What Daiki said was true. That was during a conversation I overheard in the hallway. Matsuoka remembered that. You didn't trust Hondo. I do, but Daiki can be too nice sometimes. I thought maybe he was exaggerating. Well, Hondo is the only weirdo who would call me kind and funny. But you have fun when you're with Daiki, right? Hey, aren't you getting a little too carried away? Ever since he stopped using honorifics, it's clear that he's lost all restraint towards me. Maybe it's because my fear of Shimizu-san has faded. And maybe I feel closer knowing Shimizu-san also cares about the same people. Hondo, you mean? And Seto-san too. Seto too. Yeah, you care about Seto-san too, right? Why doesn't this guy have even a millimeter of doubt? Not as much as you. That's where I don't want to lose. Matsuoka's eyes are ablaze. He really seems to have confidence in that. I'm not planning to compete. Even if both I and Shimizu-san care about Thostuo, our ways of caring are a bit different. That's true. The moment I said that, Matsuoka started to grin. So Shimizu-san really does like Daiki, as a member of the opposite sex. Why do you have to say that again? No, I just found out today. No, what are you talking about? You knew that I care about Hondo, didn't you? I knew Shimizu-san cared about Daiki, but I wasn't sure if it was romantic love. I became certain when you affirmed that the way you care about Daiki is different from mine. I was being set up. This might be bad. Matsuoka suddenly changed direction and headed towards the entrance of the shopping mall. Don't run away. I have to run away now. The Daiki in my heart is telling me it's necessary. After that, I chased after Matsuoka, running around the perimeter of the shopping mall. Section, strange, it's about time for us to meet up. An hour had passed since we arrived at the shopping mall. Seto-san and I had finished checking the prices of the groceries and were waiting at the prearranged meeting spot. After about 5 minutes, 2 exhausted-looking people appeared at the meeting place. Sorry, both of you, a lot happened. Toshiya apologized to me and Seto-san with his hands together. That's fine, but why do you two look so tired? Seto-san threw a question at them. We had to run outside for a bit. If you hadn't run away, we wouldn't have been late. That's true, but if Shimizu-san hadn't chased after me, I wouldn't have had to run. Do you have a problem with me? No. It was my fault. I wonder what happened to them. One thing was clear without asking. It seems like Toshiya and Shimizu-san have become friends. I thought so too. Seto-san's expression was softer than usual, and she seemed relieved. All right, now that all 4 of us are here, let's head back to school. Me, Shimizu-san, and Seto-san nodded, and so the 4 of us left the shopping mall. Section. Who would have thought it would start raining? How long had it been since we left the shopping mall? We were sitting at a window seat in a family restaurant. We had entered here to take shelter because it started raining while we were on our way back to school. The rain showed no signs of stopping and continued relentlessly. Well, let's rest here for a bit, and if it's still raining after that, we'll decide what to do. Is it really okay to be so carefree? Well, only Seto-san brought a foldable umbrella, and with this rain, it seems difficult for all of us to get back to school without getting wet. There was no rain forecast for today, so I hadn't brought a foldable umbrella either. With only one umbrella, it would be difficult for 4 people to return without getting wet. It might just be a passing shower, so maybe it's okay to wait a bit like Toshiya says. Well, going out now would just get us wet anyway. I think it's better to wait too. The other 2 seem to agree with staying here. Then let's order something. I'll have the drink bar. I might do the same. You guys decide quickly. We each ordered the drink bar, and Toshiya ordered some fries for all of us to share. By the way, how far has the astronomy club's play progressed? It had been about 10 minutes since we came to the family restaurant. We were chatting while sipping our drinks and nibbling on fries. The script arrived right after the second term started, and for about a week, we've been memorizing our lines individually. Today, we were supposed to check how much we've memorized by reading through it together. Sorry for interrupting your practice. There's still time before the play, so it's okay. Right, if it was really bad, I would have said no. That's good then. But I was surprised when I first heard that the astronomy club was doing a play. And that Daiki is the lead. It really doesn't suit me, does it? I am aware. If there had been someone more suitable, I wouldn't have been the lead. No, I don't think that. Yes. When I looked up, Toshiya had an unusually serious expression on his face. Daiki can definitely take on the role of the lead in the play. This wasn't the face he made when joking around. He seemed to be serious. Aren't you overestimating me a bit too much? It's the opposite. Daiki, you're underestimating yourself. Seto-san and Shimizu-san would agree, right? I shifted my gaze to the two, sitting across the table from me. Yeah, I think so too. Hondo-kun should have more confidence in himself. If I thought you weren't suitable for the lead role, I would have said it on the spot. Both of them seemed to be pushing me forward with their words. Thanks to all three of you. I'll do my best in the role of Hikaboshi. All right, I'll definitely come to see the astronomy club's play. I'll be rooting for all of you. Toshiya's smile seemed even brighter than usual. I'd do my best even without your support. That's right, Shimizu-san would be happier to be cheered on by Daiki. Why you? Indeed, if Hondo-kun cheers her on, Shimizu-san's motivation will be 100 times greater. You guys better remember this later. Shimizu-san, please calm down, we're inside a store. Although there weren't many customers in the store, raising our voices would certainly be a nuisance. GRRRs. Come on, Daiki, let's cheer on Shimizu-san. Motivation is important. Hondo-kun, hurry up and cheer for Shimizu-san. Why are these two so in sync? But as Seto-san said, motivation is important for anything you do. I don't know if my cheering will actually boost Shimizu-san's motivation, but it's better to cheer than not to. I look straight at Shimizu-san. Shimizu-san, what is it? The rehearsals for the play might be tough, but let's work hard together from now on. Okay. Though she averted her eyes, I wanted to believe my feelings got through. Good for you, Shimizu-san. If you're happy, you should say you're happy. Shut up, what position do you guys think you're in? Like a common friend and supporter for both Daiki and Shimizu-san. I've always been saved by Toshiya's brightness, but I never thought he saw himself as a supporter. You should work on your own stuff before supporting others. That's quite a harsh comment. Well, both are important, so I'll do my best in both. I'm not cheering for you, just so you know. I don't need anything in return, so that's fine. Shimizu-san, do your best. Toshiya smiled at Shimizu-san, who glared back at him. I'll do it without you telling me. I'm also supporting Matsuoka-kun. Hahaha, thank you, Seto-san. Curious, I glanced outside the window. The rain had become heavier than when we arrived. It doesn't look like the rain will stop anytime soon. The other three turned their gaze toward the window. Yeah, it might be pretty bad. It's gotten more intense than before. Hey, what are we going to do? We had planned to return to school once the rain stopped, but at this rate, that might not be possible. What can we do? We only have one umbrella, and if we go back in this downpour without one, we'll definitely catch a cold. Everyone fell silent, each probably thinking of a way to solve this situation. I have an idea. Is it okay if I say it? Seto-san was the first to speak up. Yeah, tell us. Since there are no more classes today, there's no need for all four of us to return to school. So, the person who needs to go back to drop off their things can go to school, then buy 3 umbrellas and come back here. Seto-san's suggestion could indeed allow everyone to return home without getting wet. However, I had some concerns. But with Seto-san's method, wouldn't it be tough on the person going back to school alone? Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to leave at school, and it's heavy, so it would be hard for one person. If Toshiya, who volunteered to run the errand, says so, it must be true. That's true. Seto-san's expression didn't change, but her voice sounded slightly disappointed. If the problem is going alone, we can solve that. We only have one umbrella, right? I see what you mean. Shimizu-san's comment seemed to make Toshiya realize something. There's no rule that says one person has to use the umbrella alone. 2 people can go back to school together and then come back here. So, you mean sharing an umbrella? This method would indeed reduce the burden on those returning to school. I think it's a good idea too. Now we just have to decide who goes with whom. Considering the need to carry heavy items, I personally think it would be best if Toshia and I went together. I'll go. After all, it's because of what I asked for that we're in this situation, so let me go. I understand, then the other person will be. I'll go too. Seto-san, Toshia exclaimed in surprise. He hadn't expected Seto-san to volunteer. Why? My folding umbrella isn't very big. Matsuoka-kun is tall, so the last person should be as small as possible. I'm the smallest here. That's why I think it's best if I go. Seto-san, is it not okay if it's me, Matsuoka-kun? Seto-san gazed at Toshia. The moment she did, Toshia clutched his chest. It's not that it's not okay. I actually want to go with you. Let's share an umbrella together. I think Toshia's honesty is a virtue. Then you two go, take your time coming back. Shimizu-san, weren't you not going to cheer for me? This isn't about cheering. I just want to take it easy. You're not being honest. Well then, Shimizu-san, enjoy your time alone with Daiki. Wah. Come on, let's go, Seto-san. Okay. With that, Toshia and Seto-san picked up their things and left. Those guys are becoming a real hassle. Ahate. Why are you laughing? No, sorry, I'm just happy. What's there to be happy about? That Shimizu-san has become friends with the two of them. I haven't become friends with them. That's how it looks to me. Although Shimizu-san denies it with words, I'm sure she actually feels the same way. Even if I did become friends with them, what's in it for you? It's not about what I gain. I'm simply happy that my friends are getting to know the good side of Shimizu-san. I don't have a good side. Are you serious about that? Why are you getting so worked up? It seems that to Shimizu-san, I appear to be angry. I might have said this before, but Shimizu-san, you're amazing. You're hardworking, observant, kind, and just being with you makes people feel happy. Enough, there are other customers here. Shimizu-san's face turned bright red. But I can't stop now. Thanks to you, I'm always having fun. There's no way someone as charming as Shimizu-san doesn't have good qualities. Whwa. Having said what I wanted to say, I felt relieved. After saying so much, Shimizu-san surely wouldn't think she has no good qualities. As I thought this, Shimizu-san stood up silently. Shimizu-san. I'm going home. What? But it's still raining. I'm going home. With that, Shimizu-san grabbed her things and ran off. I hurried to catch up with Shimizu-san, but then realized I hadn't paid yet. I quickly settled the bill. Shimizu-san. I hadn't expected her to try to go home in the rain. I learned the next day that Shimizu-san had taken the day off. Chapter 5, Shimizu-san and the Cold. Daiki, are you okay? After school, as I was lost in thought with my cheek propped on my hand in the classroom, Toshia called out to me. I'm fine. Do I look strange or something? Aren't you aware? You've seemed out of it all day today. Really? Why would I lie about that? I replayed the day in my head. Indeed, I had been preoccupied with something all day. Now that you mention it, maybe so. Don't worry about it too much, but I don't think it's all your fault, Daiki. Do you know what I was thinking about, Toshia? I do. It's about Shimizu-san taking the day off today, right? Yeah. Just as Toshia said, I had been thinking about Shimizu-san, who had taken the day off due to a cold, all day long. Yesterday, after Shimizu-san left the family restaurant, I hurriedly paid the bill and tried to follow her. But I couldn't catch up because I didn't know the exact location of her house. I'm worried about Shimizu-san, but I'm just as worried about you, Daiki. When Seto-san and I came back from school and saw you soaking wet under the eaves of the family restaurant, I wondered what had happened. I'm sorry for worrying you. Thinking Shimizu-san might return, I went back to the family restaurant alone, but she didn't come back. Waiting under the eaves, soaking wet, I had caused quite a bit of concern for Toshia and Seto-san when they returned from school. I'm just worrying on my own, so don't mind me, Daiki. But I asked you this morning as well. You don't have a fever or feel sluggish, right? I'm fine. I checked my temperature this morning just in case, but it was normal. I don't feel sluggish or anything now either. That's good then. Anyway, don't dwell too much on what happened yesterday. Like I said before, it's not solely your fault that Shimizu-san took the day off. But Shimizu-san had left the family restaurant while talking to me. If there was a cause, it was me. Even so, if it bothers you, convey your feelings to her properly. You don't want to have regrets, right? I looked up. Toshia's expression was dead serious. That's right, this is not the time to be regretting yesterday. I stood up, grabbing my things. Thanks, Toshia. I'm going to tell Shimizu-san how I feel. Your expression has improved. Good luck. Yeah, I'm going to see Ai-san now to go to Shimizu-san's house. See you tomorrow, Toshia. Huh, you're going to see Shimizu-san today. I left the classroom and headed for the astronomy club room where Ai-san would likely be. Section, I see you want me to take you to my house. Is that not okay? 10 minutes after leaving the classroom, I was asking Ai-san to take me to her house. Besides me and Ai-san, Yaosuk-san was also there in the club room. Well, I'd love to take you, but I have quite a bit of student council work to do later, and it looks like I'll be going home late. I'll wait until you're done. If there's anything I can help with, I'll help. When I said that, Ai-san's eyes seemed to change. So you really have something important to say to Kei? Yes, there's something I really need to tell Shimizu-san right away. I looked straight into Ai-san's eyes. After a few seconds of staring at each other, Ai-san smiled. Okay. Your resolve has come through. Let's go. Thank you so much. I bowed my head to Ai-san. Then I'll work hard to finish up the job, so wait a little. There's no need for that. Hey Yaosuk, don't interrupt when I'm trying to look cool. Ai-san glared at Yaosuk-san, which was rare for her. Sorry about that, but if you're taking Hondo-kun, it's better to go sooner. Today's student council work can be managed without you, so you take Hondo-kun and go home now. Ah, Yaosuk, aren't you being too cool? Are you really the real Yaosuk? Who's fake? I just thought I'd show Hondo-kun a side of me that's befitting of a senpai. That's my boyfriend for you, the best in Japan. What even is that? Anyway, go now. I'll talk to the others. Yaosuk-san gestured as if shooing Ai-san away. Yaosuk-san, thank you. No need to thank me. I owe Hondo-kun for his help usually. Yaosuk-san said this with a kind smile. All right, then let's head to my house, Daiki-kun. Yes. Led by Ai-san, I was on my way to Shimizu-san's house. Section, we're almost at my house. Yes. How long had it been since we left the school? I was walking through a residential area with Ai-san. I had heard before that Shimizu-san's and my houses were quite close to each other. As we walked, taking in the scenery, Ai-san stopped. Here we are, my house. I looked where she indicated, and there was a 2-story detached house. Shimizu-san and Ai-san lived in this house. As I thought this, Ai-san rang the doorbell. Yes. Oh, weren't you going to be late today? The door opened, revealing a woman who appeared to be in her early 30s. Yaosuk-san said he would work hard in my place, so he told me I could go home first. Oh my, that's love for you. Right. I can feel my boyfriend's love. Ai-san chatted naturally with the woman, indicating that she was someone close to Ai-san. Oh, and who is this? The woman seemed to have noticed me standing next to Ai-san. My name is Hondo Daiki. I came to visit Shimizu-san today. Shimizu-san, as in Kei. Yes, that's right. What is your relationship with Kei? It was natural for her to be cautious, given that an unknown man had come to her house. I decided to honestly convey our relationship. Shimizu-san is my classmate, a fellow club member, and someone very important to me. The woman's eyes widened in surprise. Daiki-kun seems a bit different from what I've heard. Well, I didn't expect him to say it so boldly. Is he doing this without any calculation? Totally natural. I can see why Kei would be smitten over. What are you two talking about? I couldn't follow the conversation. Sorry, Daiki-kun, I am I and Kei's mother. I had heard about you from the two of them, and I was curious about what kind of person you are, hence my earlier question. My apologies. So she was Shimizu-san's mother. I hadn't realized because she looked so young. No, please don't worry about it. Thank you. Well, it's not much, but please come in. I was invited into Shimizu-san's house by her mother. Kei is still asleep right now, so please wait a bit until she wakes up. Understood. A few minutes after arriving at the Shimizu residence, I found myself in their living room. This morning, we went to the doctor, and they said it's just a common cold that will get better with some rest, so don't worry. When we took her temperature earlier, it was just a slight fever. I see. By any chance, Daiki-kun, did you have something to do with Kei getting wet on her way home yesterday? It seems I hit the mark. Shimizu-san's mother was smiling and didn't seem angry. Why aren't you angry? I was surprised when Kei came home wet, but she didn't look distressed, so I knew right away that it wasn't because of something unpleasant. Shimizu-san's mother, like Ai-san, seemed to pay close attention to Shimizu-san. By the way, I haven't asked, But what did you do with Kei yesterday, Daiki-kun? That is, I explained the events of yesterday, starting from when Shimizu-san and I were alone in the family restaurant. I see, so that's what happened. Now I understand why Kei didn't talk about it. Ai-san and Shimizu-san's mother seem to have come to an understanding. Do you two know why Shimizu-san left? More or less. What do you think was the cause, Daiki-kun? I'm not really sure. I just know that I made Shimizu-san uncomfortable, so I thought I should apologize for that. I had been thinking about it since returning home yesterday, but I couldn't figure out which of my remarks had caused Shimizu-san to leave. Did you come all this way to apologize to Kei, Daiki-kun? That's part of it. Part of it, so there's something else. Yes, there's something I want to tell Shimizu-san. I'm still a little hesitant about whether to say it or not. Shimizu-san's mother nudged Ai-san, who was sitting next to her. Hey, is it really okay to let Daiki-kun go to Kei like this? PR probably. What Daiki-kun wants to tell Kei isn't what you're thinking, Mom. Is that so? Daiki-kun isn't the type to launch a killing move on a weakened Kei. I wondered what they were whispering about. Daiki-kun. Yes. My husband can be very scary when he's angry. Excuse me. I was confused by the sudden change in topic from Shimizu-san's mother. Mom is scarier when she's angry. Mom is always beautiful, elegant, and kind. I felt like I had caught a glimpse of the power dynamics within the Shimizu family. We've gotten off track. What I wanted to say is about Kei. About Shimizu-san. Yes, Kei is actually quite sensitive and tends to take things people say to heart. I think so too. Shimizu-san might be misunderstood because of her appearance, but I believe she is a delicate and kind person. And Daiki-kun, having heard from the two of them, I think you are a kind person. That's not true. I wondered how Shimizu-san and Ai-san had described me to Shimizu-san's mother. You don't seem like you're just being modest. It must be your true feelings, but haven't you ever held back out of consideration for others? That is, having such an experience already makes me think that Daiki-kun is a kind person. Now, what I want to ask of you is to not hold back with Kei. Holding back? Yes, Daiki-kun, because you're kind. I think there are parts where you unconsciously hold back with Kei. Is that so? To be honest, I hadn't really thought about it. Was I holding back with Shimizu-san? Daiki-kun, earlier you said that Kei is someone important to you, right? I think it's because you consider her important that you try not to hurt her. But that's not necessarily a bad thing, is it? It's not bad, but I think Daiki-kun should be more honest with his feelings. It's okay to convey what you think directly to Kei. But what if I end up hurting Shimizu-san? Kei may be delicate in some ways, but she's strong. Trust her. With that, Shimizu-san's mother smiled kindly. I understand. I want to convey my feelings, honestly, to Shimizu-san. I'd be happy if you did that. Well, I've said what I wanted to say, and I'll be heading out soon. With those words, Shimizu-san's mother stood up. Where are you going? To the supermarket. I haven't been able to shop today because I was taking care of Kei, so I was thinking of making do with what's left in the fridge. But since I came home early, I'll go shopping. Can I count on you to look after Kei until I return? Of course. Then I'm counting on you, and Daiki-kun. Yes. Please take care of Kei. Shimizu-san's mother was smiling, but to me, she seemed a little lonely. Yes. Then I'll be off. Saying that, Shimizu-san's mother left the living room. Kei is still sleeping, so let's wait a bit longer. Yes. A few minutes after Shimizu-san's mother left, Ai-san came back from Shimizu-san's room. Sorry about my mother earlier. It must have been a surprise to have her say all that out of the blue. No, it's okay. I was a bit surprised, but I could feel her concern for Shimizu-san. Well, our family loves Kei very much. But it's been a while since we've had a chance to talk just the two of us like this. That's true. It's not unusual to talk with Ai-san in the clubroom, but usually other club members are around. Daiki-kun, can we talk a bit about Kei? Yes, of course. Don't you think Kei has changed a bit since becoming a second year? I'm not talking about her appearance. Indeed, Shimizu-san had dyed her hair black this spring, but I knew that wasn't what she was referring to. I also think Shimizu-san has changed. How do you think she's changed? Well, it feels like she's become more positive about interacting with people compared to last year. Ai-san nodded in agreement. That's true. The Kei from before wouldn't have joined the astronomy club. If she hadn't, we wouldn't have been able to observe the stars together or go on camps. What changed, Shimizu-san? Do you really not know? I don't know. Of course, I wasn't lying. I had thought about it but couldn't come up with anything. It was Daiki-kun who changed Kei. Me? I couldn't believe Ai-san would joke at a time like this, but it was hard to believe. Yes, since Kei started talking with Daiki-kun, I think she discovered the joy of interacting with people. I just enjoy being with Shimizu-san, so I talked to her, that's all. I think that was good. Kei probably enjoyed talking with Daiki-kun as well. Was that really the case? If so, I'd be happy. If Shimizu-san has come to enjoy interacting with people, that's great. Thank you so much, Daiki-kun. I think I should be the one thanking her. Thanks to Shimizu-san, every day is fun for me. Since I started talking more with Shimizu-san, coming to school has become a little more enjoyable. Just like Shimizu-san changed, perhaps I've also changed a bit thanks to her. Tell Kei those words too, she'll definitely be happy. Ai-san said this with a gentle smile. Section, Kei seems to be awake, so let's go to her room. Ai-san came back from Shimizu-san's room again. It seemed Shimizu-san had woken up. Does she seem to be feeling okay? She's not fully recovered yet, but she seems able to talk. Let's go quickly. Ai-san physically pushed me towards Shimizu-san's room. Kei, can I come in? Ai-san knocked on the door and checked with Shimizu-san. Come in. Shimizu-san's voice came from the room. She sounded less energetic than usual. Open. Ai-san opened the door and entered the room. I followed her in. Excuse me. Shimizu-san was lying on the bed, wrapped in a blanket. A cooling sheet was on her forehead, her face was slightly red, and her eyes looked a bit glazed. Our eyes met. Is this a dream? Muttering to herself, Shimizu-san pulled the futon over her head. It's not a dream, it's completely real. Shut up, there's no way Hondo would be in my house. No good, it seems this little sister can't accept reality. Maybe she's still sleepy. If that's the case, let's wake her up. Come on, Daiki-kun, let's go. Pushed by Ai-san, I moved closer to Shimizu-san's bed where she was sleeping. Shimizu-san. When I called out to her, Shimizu-san poked her face out from under the futon. What is it? Isn't it about time to wake up? I won't wake up, it's my dream, so listen to what I say. Shimizu-san still seemed to think it was a dream. If I listen to you, will you wake up? Yeah. Then, what should I do? Lend me your hand. Okay, got it. I knelt beside the bed and extended my right hand towards Shimizu-san. Bring your hand closer to my face. Following Shimizu-san's instructions, I moved my right hand closer to her face. Suddenly, Shimizu-san grabbed my right hand and pressed it tightly against her cheek. Shimizu-san, your hand, it's cold. Shimizu-san had a mischievous smile on her face. I was so taken aback by the sudden move that my mind couldn't keep up. Wow, Kei is so bold. Why is it cold if this is a dream? After freezing for a few seconds, Shimizu-san suddenly sat up and moved away from me. Are you finally awake? Why is Hondo in my room? It was only natural for Shimizu-san to think that way. Kei was worried and came to visit you. I didn't ask for that. You're happy that Daiki-kun came to visit, aren't you? You're not being honest. Stop grinning. Shimizu-san, calm down. You might make your cold worse, so rest quietly. He. Shimizu-san glared at me resentfully and crawled back under the futon. Then, I'll be heading back. Hey, don't leave this guy here. Ai-san left Shimizu-san's room alone, ignoring her protest. An awkward silence filled the room, now just the two of us. Why did you come all the way to my house? Shimizu-san broke the silence. I wanted to apologize to you. I think it's my fault that you caught a cold. I'm sorry. I bowed my head toward Shimizu-san, who was lying in bed. It's not your fault. Ah, but Shimizu-san, you left because of what I said, right? That's not wrong, but it's not because you said something unpleasant that I left. Then why did you leave? Because. Her voice dropped so suddenly that I couldn't hear her, even though I was close by. I'm sorry, could you say that again? Do I have to? Her gaze was weaker than usual, and it made my heart skip a beat. If Shimizu-san doesn't mind, I'd like to know. Because it was embarrassing. You were praising me so straightforwardly. I was taken aback. I had never considered that before. So, it wasn't because you felt bad that you left. Yeah. It wasn't my words that had hurt Shimizu-san. It felt like a string that had been tense inside me had snapped. That's a relief. You were that worried about that. It seemed my emotions had shown on my face. Yeah, that's why I've been thinking about you nonstop since yesterday. Why? I'm really glad you weren't hurt. You worry about me too much. Shimizu-san's face seemed redder than before, but maybe it was just the fever. Shimizu-san, I just told your mother earlier too, but to me, you are very important. Huh, what did you just say? To me, Shimizu-san is an important person. Before that, I just told your mother earlier too. What on earth did you say to someone's parent? Later I'll be asked all sorts of things by my mom. Shimizu-san buried herself deep in the futon. Are you okay? A few seconds later, Shimizu-san peeked out from the futon, glaring sharply. Whose fault do you think this is? Sorry. Well, okay, did you say what you wanted to say? No, there's one more thing I want to tell you, Shimizu-san. Why are you making such a serious face? I wonder why Shimizu-san is so flustered. Can I say it? Wait, let me prepare myself. Shimizu-san hurried out of the futon and sat on the edge of the bed, placing her hands on her knees, ready to listen. You don't need to change your posture for this. It's my issue, don't worry about it. Okay, got it. I can't let Shimizu-san, who has a cold, strain herself, so I should start talking quickly. So, what is it that you wanted to talk about? What I wanted to tell Shimizu-san is that I want you to take care of yourself. Shimizu-san, what's wrong? No, it's nothing. Shimizu-san's expression clearly changed. Maybe it wasn't what she was expecting. Can I continue? Sure, but it's my business whether I take care of myself or not. That's true. How Shimizu-san treats herself is indeed her own freedom. Then that's the end of the discussion. But this is just my selfishness. What do you mean? To me, Shimizu-san is irreplaceable. It hurts to hear you speak poorly of yourself. I'm sure I didn't feel this way in my first year. When did I start feeling like this? I can't even remember. Then help me. Shimizu-san. If that's the case, help me change. I probably can't change myself alone. So you help too. Am I good enough? You're the one who brought it up, so it's only right that you help. Shimizu-san said this and then looked away. Okay. I'll do my best to help Shimizu-san like herself. Yes. Shall we start then? Start what? I was thinking of listing all the good things about Shimizu-san, one by one, to help you like yourself. If you say that, I'll kick you out of the house. Shimizu-san's tone was serious. If I say it, she might really do it. I'll think of another way. Do that. How can I make Shimizu-san value herself? As I pondered, a sudden idea struck me. Shimizu-san, is there anything you want me to do? Why so sudden? I was thinking that if I can convey how much I care for Shimizu-san, maybe you'll start to care for yourself too. Are you talking nonsense? Just because you value something doesn't mean I will. Really, I feel like Shimizu-san would care. Anyway, isn't there anything you want me to do? If I can, I'll do anything for you. You don't say such things to anyone but me. I was glared at by Shimizu-san. It seems I said something I shouldn't have. I don't intend to say it to anyone but Shimizu-san, but I'll be careful. Good, as long as you understand. Yawn. Shimizu-san let out a cute yawn. Are you sleepy? A little. You said you'd do anything I ask, right? If it's within my power, then listen to what I say. What do you want me to do? I wonder what she will ask of me. I'm a little nervous. Hold my hand until I fall asleep. Is that really okay? No good. Shimizu-san looked anxious. Maybe she's feeling more vulnerable than usual because she's sick. All right, shall we hold hands? Yeah. Shimizu-san got back into the futon and reached out one hand towards me. I gently took her hand. Is this okay? Yes. Silence enveloped the room. Section. After a while, the soft sound of breathing could be heard. Shimizu-san. It looks like she's fallen asleep. Ai-san. I couldn't help but raise my voice. When had she returned? SHH. Let's go back to the living room for now. Why, yes. Led by Ai-san, I headed back to the living room. Were you able to have a proper talk with Kay? Yes, I think we were able to share our thoughts with each other. That's good to hear. Thank you for today. I bowed my head towards Ai-san. There's no need to thank me. I want Kay and Daiki-kun to get along well too. Thanks to Ai-san, I was able to convey my feelings to Shimizu-san. What did you tell Kay, Daiki-kun? Then Ai-san eagerly pressed me for every detail about what had happened in Shimizu-san's room. Chapter 6. Shimizu-san and the after-school before the cultural festival. After school, with the cultural festival's main event just about a week away, I was practicing for the play with Shimizu-san and Seto-san. Thanks to our practice, Shimizu-san's acting and Seto-san's narration had improved considerably compared to the beginning. Hikoboshi, about you, We were currently practicing the final scene, where Orihime and Hikoboshi meet and convey their feelings to each other. Cut, the continuation is too slow. Sorry. Let's take a break. Are you two okay with that? I turned towards Seto-san along with Shimizu-san and nodded. The other scenes have gotten better, but the final scene still feels awkward. As Seto-san said, no matter how many times we practiced, the final scene where Orihime and Hikoboshi express their feelings to each other still wasn't coming together well. I know that, but I understand it's embarrassing, but you have to get over it. I am not embarrassed. Really, it didn't look that way to me. Gyaru. Shimizu-san glared at Seto-san, but it didn't seem to have any effect. As I thought about this, Seto-san's gaze turned towards me. Hondo-kun, you too, you seem more tense in the final scene than in the others. Maybe. I couldn't deny it. No matter how many times we practiced, my heart would always start racing when we got to the final scene. It's natural to be nervous, but it's affecting your performance too much. We have to find a way to be less nervous before the actual performance. What should we do specifically? I think the only way is to get used to it. And to get used to it, we have to practice over and over. I guess that's the only way. Yeah, so after the break, let's practice again. Can't be helped, huh? Despite her words, Shimizu-san's expression seemed to be filled with enthusiasm. What's the matter, Hondo-kun? You look like you're having fun. Startled by Seto-san's question, I realized I had been smiling while looking at Shimizu-san's expression. And no, it's nothing. If you say so. Shall we start practicing again in 5 minutes? That's fine. All right. The three of us continued practicing for the play until the sun set. Section, why did it come to this? Wasn't it Shimizu-san who suggested we take a break for dinner? Why yeah, but Shimizu-san and I were heading to the convenience store to buy a late dinner. Seto-san wasn't with us because she said she wanted to practice alone. It's been a while since I've been at school this late, not since the stargazing. Is it okay for you to practice this late? It's right before the cultural festival, so as long as the cultural clubs file for extended activity time, it shouldn't be a problem, right? That's not what I mean. Isn't Teruno going to be lonely? Under the streetlights, Shimizu-san's eyes were serious. I see, that's what you meant. Don't worry, I've told Teruno beforehand that I'll be late. And until the cultural festival, my dad and mom are taking turns coming home earlier than usual to make dinner for Teruno. Is Teruno okay with that? Yeah, she said she'll be patient until the cultural festival. Then that's good. Shimizu-san's expression softened with relief. Shimizu-san, you really are kind. What are you talking about all of a sudden? Because you always worry about Teruno, even though you've only met her a few times. I think you have to be kind to do that. I just thought it would be troublesome if Teruno went wild again. I'll be careful so that doesn't happen. Teruno is really looking forward to seeing Shimizu-san at the cultural festival, so I think it'll be fine. Still, the final scene of the play is difficult. True. How can we do it well? Like Seto said, the only thing we can do is practice. Is that how it's going to be? I suppose we just have to keep practicing diligently until we get used to it and don't feel nervous. But it is surprising. What is? That you were nervous during the final scene. I get quite nervous too. I thought you would be able to say the lines of confession in the play without getting nervous. Well, I can't really speak much about others either. Indeed, a real confession is one thing, but a confession in a play is just a part of acting. Why do I get so nervous every time? After some thought, I arrived at one conclusion. Maybe everyone gets nervous when they have to convey their feelings to someone. What brought this on? I was reminded of Yaosuke-san during the training camp. Even Yaosuke-san, who's always so confident, was that nervous. So I guess it's really hard to tell someone you like them. I've never seen Yaosuke-san as nervous as he was then, not before or since. The confession in the play is just acting right. It was definitely acting, but I think both Shimizu-san and I put our feelings into it. That's probably why it's natural to feel nervous during the final scene. So you're saying that you're acting with the intention of really confessing, and that's why both of us are nervous in the last scene. That might be the case. Why you? I wonder why Shimizu-san is so flustered. If it were a real confession, it's only natural to be nervous. I feel relieved knowing why I always get tense now. I'm not relieved at all. As we were talking, we arrived at the convenience store. Time always seems to fly when I'm talking with Shimizu-san. We bought dinner for 3 and left the convenience store. Section, Hondo. What's wrong, Shimizu-san? After walking in silence for a while, Shimizu-san suddenly spoke up. You said earlier that we always mess up the final scene because we think of it as a real confession and get nervous, right? Yeah. If that's the case, what do you think we can do to not get nervous? Shimizu-san probably wants to succeed in the play, just like I do. She must be looking for a way to not get nervous during the final scene. I think it's impossible not to feel nervous. Is that so? Her voice sounded somewhat disappointed. But I think there's a way to succeed in the final scene, even while being nervous. How? Just convey your feelings honestly. You mean to convey my feelings to you? It seems she misunderstood, so I should correct her quickly. Not Shimizu-san's feelings, but Oriheim's. It's hard not to be nervous when you're telling someone you like them. So I think it's more about the desire to convey your own feelings than technique. So that's what you mean. Well, I've never actually confessed to anyone before, so I don't know if this is the right way to do it. Have you never been in love with someone? I never expected Shimizu-san to ask me such a question. Probably never. What do you mean, probably? We're talking about you. I still don't understand what it means to fall in love with someone. Hondo, since talking about love with Seto-san, I've thought more about what it means to fall in love. But I still couldn't find an answer. Do you understand what it means to fall in love, Shimizu-san? Why? Caught off guard, Shimizu-san clearly showed her surprise. Sorry, that was out of the blue. No need to apologize. I just can't put it into words well enough to tell someone what it means to like someone. Shimizu-san looked apologetic. Ahaha. What are you laughing at? I was glared at fiercely by Shimizu-san. No, I was just thinking it's amazing how Shimizu-san takes the time to consider something I asked so suddenly. Anyone would try to answer if they were asked. Besides, I asked first, so I have a responsibility to think about it too. Shimizu-san always works hard once she decides on something. That aspect of Shimizu-san is. What about that aspect? Shimizu-san looked puzzled. It was natural since I stopped mid-sentence. But honestly, I was too preoccupied to continue. What was I about to say? I could feel my heart pounding. Hey, Hondo. I snapped back to reality. It seemed more time had passed than I thought. Sorry, Shimizu-san. Don't apologize, so what about that aspect? I forgot. You. Shimizu-san looked exasperated. It's getting late, and Seto-san might worry if we don't hurry. Hey, don't start jogging all of a sudden. I blamed the heat in my cheeks on the summer warmth and jogged back to school. Section. You two are back. When we returned to the clubroom, Ai-san and Yaosuk-san were there. You guys, is it okay to leave the student council work? We finished today's tasks with everyone's help. That's right. If that's the case, then it's fine, but we don't have any food for you guys. I and Yaosuk already ate, so don't worry. There are eateries near the school, so they probably ate there. I'm not worried. Hey Seto, I bought the sandwich you asked for. Saying that, Shimizu-san handed a bag with a sandwich to Seto-san. Thank you. No need for thanks, here your change. Shimizu-san handed some coins to Seto-san. So, Kei and Daiki-kun walked alone together on the street at night. Is that it? Don't make it sound weird. We just went out to buy some food. Really, nothing happened at all. Daiki-kun is what Kei says true. Memories from earlier resurfaced. Silence enveloped the clubroom. Wait, is this one of those something really did happen scenarios? Am I the one getting kicked around like a horse here? Hondo, it's because you're not denying it properly that things are getting complicated. Sorry. It's unusual though. It's not often Daiki-kun is more flustered than Kei. Don't talk as if it's not unusual for me. When it comes to Kei, it's just another day for her if Daiki-kun is involved. Instead of a horse, shall I do the kicking? Wait. Seto-san put Shimizu-san in a headlock to stop her. Don't stop me, Seto. I'm just releasing some pent-up lack of exercise. That's not good. Right, violence is not good. That's true, but Ai-senpai is a character in the play, so it would be a problem if she got injured. Shouldn't you be more worried about me? Everyone, let's calm down for a moment. At Yaosuk-san's words, everyone took a step back. Thank you, Yaosuk, as expected from my boyfriend. If she gets injured, it will affect the play. Nobody's worried about me personally. Well, that's obviously a joke, but if we keep this up, we'll never get to have dinner. Maybe you three should go eat now. Well, I guess so. I am getting hungry. And so, the three of us decided to have a late dinner. How's the play going for you three? After finishing our meal, Isan immediately asked us. Everything but the last scene is going smoothly. That's true. The last scene is proving to be quite difficult, isn't it? Shimizu-san made a slightly bitter face. I can understand why acting out the feeling of being in love is difficult. I think so too. But the last scene is crucial in the play. That's why you two need to work hard on it. That's right, so let's give it our all, Kei and Daiki-kun. This is the moment to push through. Yeah. Yes. Good response. Now that the whole astronomy club is here, why don't we take this opportunity to run through it from the beginning? We continued to practice. But no matter how many times we tried, we just couldn't get the last scene to feel right. Section, Audiobook by Masquerade at Masquerade Audiobooks. Chapter 7, Shimizu-san and the Class's Project. Hondo, is the yakisoba ready yet? Just a little longer. Does it look like Seto-san's portion will take much longer? It's ready, so help me serve it. Roger that. On the day of the cultural festival, I was making yakisoba with Seto-san at a corner of the schoolyard, which was one of our class's festival offerings. Shimizu-san and Toshiya were selling the yakisoba we had prepared. Since most other classes weren't offering yakisoba, ours was selling better than expected. Even though the festival had just started, the first batch of yakisoba we made was already gone, and we were in the middle of making more. Here you go, 1 yakisoba, sorry for the wait. Thank you very much. A girl student, who seemed to be a junior, received the yakisoba from Toshiya, who was dressed in a happy coat, with a delighted expression. At times like this, I'm reminded of Toshiya's popularity with the girls. It seems that the crowd here isn't just because of the yakisoba's popularity. Hey, 2 servings of yakisoba are ready. Why yes. Oh, thank you very much. Next to Toshiya, Shimizu-san, wearing a happy over her uniform, was handing yakisoba to a male student. The boy receiving it looked somewhat intimidated. There are still quite a few students who are afraid of Shimizu-san, and this boy must be one of them. Hondo-kun, you've stopped working. Seto-san, in her apron, called out to me. It seems I was paying too much attention to the other two. Sorry. No need to apologize. Is your yakisoba ready? Yeah, it's ready. Just need to pack it into containers. Good to hear things are going smoothly. Once I've finished packing what I've made, I'll help you with yours. Thanks, Seto-san. It's only natural to help each other out when we're on the same shift. After that, Seto-san and I continued making yakisoba, while Shimizu-san and Toshiya continued selling it. Section, phew, we can finally take a breather. About an hour into the festival, the stream of customers finally slowed down. Should we stop making yakisoba for now? Yeah, we still have quite a bit left, so we should be fine, right? Then let's take a break until the next customers come. Okay. I'll keep an eye out in case any customers come. Should I help too? No need, just take a break. Understood. Thanks, Shimizu-san. I opened my backpack, which was nearby, and noticed something. Huh. What's wrong, Daiki? I was going to check the script for the play, but it's not in here. Did you forget it at home? I don't think so. When you can't find something, it's best to remember the last time you had it with you. Following Seto-san's advice, I tried to recall when I last read the script. Come to think of it, I don't remember reading it at home last night. If that's the case, the last time I saw the script was. Maybe I left it in the clubroom. If it's at school, that's good. Since we have some time now, you should go get it. Yeah, I'll go do that. Just before heading to the clubroom, I caught Shimizu-san's eye. I heard the conversation. We can handle things here even if customers come, so don't rush. Shimizu-san is kind, huh? Just go quickly. I hurried off to the astronomy club's clubroom. Section, after confirming that Hondo was out of sight, I approached Matsuoka and Seto, who were talking. Hey, Matsuoka. What is it? Sorry, but I need to talk to Seto for a bit, so can you take over the booth? Is it something important? It's important to me. Got it, sure. Should I try not to overhear the conversation? If you want to listen, that's up to you. If it were a conversation I didn't want to be overheard, I wouldn't be having it here. Okay, then I'll take over the booth. Don't expect a thank you. I don't need one, so it's fine. Well then. With that, Matsuoka returned to the spot where he had been before. So, what did you want to talk about? It's about Hondo. I figured as much. Why? Because you came to talk right after Hondo-kun left, so it's obviously related to him. By the way, I knew that too. Just keep quiet and watch over the booth. Am I really that obvious? Surely it's just that Seto and Matsuoka are sharper than most. It has to be. So, what about Hondo-kun do you want to talk about? That's. Hurry up or Hondo-kun will come back. Don't rush me. I just want to know how to go around the cultural festival with Hondo. Are you serious about asking that? Of course I'm serious. Seto's expression hasn't changed, but I feel somewhat scoffed at. Just invite him normally. Won't he find it bothersome? If it's Oni-chan, I think it'll be fine. I wasn't expecting a response from that direction, so I reflexively turned towards the source of the voice. For some reason, there stood Hondo's sister, Teruno. Why is Teruno here? Because it's the cultural festival today. Indeed, anyone can come to our high school's cultural festival, but that's not what I wanted to know. How did you get here? Did you come alone again? No, I came with Mom. I looked around, but I couldn't spot anyone who looked like Teruno's mother. Where is your mother now? She went to greet Yuasa-sensei. She said I might be bored in the meantime, so I should go ahead and wait for Oni-chan. She said Oni-chan would be here around this time. Hondo just stepped out for a bit. He'll be back soon. Then that's good. Teruno seemed relieved. She must have felt uneasy without Hondo around. Well, until Hondo gets back, do as you like here. Thank you, Oni-chan. Yeah. Teruno's smile might contain an ingredient that brings happiness to people. So about the plan to go around the cultural festival with Oni-chan, the places I recommend are. Teruno. What's wrong, Oni-chan? Why are you trying to help me make plans to go around the cultural festival with Hondo? Don't you want to go around the festival with Hondo too? Oni-chan, are you serious? I wish she wouldn't look at me with such an exasperated expression. It's tough to be looked at like that by Teruno. Is that not it? It's not completely wrong. I think it would be fun to go around the cultural festival with Oni-chan, but I want Oni-chan to take the chance. Why would you prioritize me over yourself? I like both Oni-chan and Oni-chan, so I'm happy to see you two get along. Teruno. Somehow, she seems to have grown up a bit since I last saw her. I'll be going around the cultural festival with Mom, so don't worry. So Oni-chan, do your best to get closer to Oni-chan. See, even Teruno says so. Now you have no choice but to invite him. But if it's a bother to him, like I said before, it'll be fine if it's Oni-chan. And if he really doesn't want to, Oni-chan will say so. But I don't think Oni-chan would refuse if Oni-chan invites him. Indeed, Hondo is kind, but he's also someone who can firmly say what needs to be said when necessary. All right, I'll try inviting him. Oni-chan, do your best. I'm rooting for you. I'm also supporting you. Me too. You just focus on the booth. Am I being treated a bit too roughly here? Thanks to Teruno, I made up my mind to invite Hondo to go around the cultural festival. Section. A few minutes after separating from Shimizu-san and the others, I arrived in front of the astronomy club's room. Just as I was about to open the door, it opened on its own. Daiki-kun, what's up? There stood Ai-san. The door had opened on its own because Ai-san had opened it from the inside. I came to pick up the script I left behind yesterday. The one on the desk, that was yours, Daiki-kun. I think so. It's good that you noticed before the performance. Yes. Ai-san, why are you in the clubroom? That's because I'm the one who insisted on calling her here. Looking into the clubroom where the voice came from, I saw Kaho-san in her casual clothes. Kaho-san, we haven't seen each other much at Aido lately, so it feels like it's been a while. Kaho-san smiled happily. Shimizu-san and I had reduced our shifts at Aido for the week leading up to the cultural festival. Ah, shoot. What's wrong, Ai-san? I told Kaho-san earlier, but I'm almost due for my class's shift at the festival. I'm running out of time, so I have to excuse myself. With that, Ai-san quickly left the clubroom. Ai-san, Hondo-kun, why don't you come into the clubroom for now? Why, yes. I entered the clubroom and closed the door. It was the usual clubroom, but for some reason, I felt nervous. There's no need to be so tense. Relax and take a seat. Following Kaho-san's words, I sat down in the chair opposite her. Why did Kaho-san come to the cultural festival? There are various reasons, but the main one is the play. I heard that the astronomy club is putting on a play, and it sounded interesting, so I came to watch. Is that so? Hondo-kun, you're playing Hikaboshi, right? Do your best. Yes. Kaho-san was looking forward to the play. I have to do my best not to disappoint her. I heard from Ai that you've practiced a lot, but do you feel confident? It seems like you have some concerns. Since we're here, why don't you tell me? I might be able to help. I explained that the final scene of the play wasn't coming together well, without revealing too much of the content. So, to be honest, I'm anxious. I'm not sure if I can perform the final scene well. I see. I thought that as long as I conveyed Hikaboshi's feelings straightforwardly, it would be fine, but it still isn't working out. That's tough. It is, isn't it? No, I think I understand why it's not going well. Really? Had Kaho-san figured out the cause from just a little bit of what I told her? I think the problem might be the relationship between Hondo-kun and Kei-chan. What do you mean? Can you describe your current relationship with Kei-chan in one word? I thought about Shimizu-san in my mind. Fellow astronomy club member, classmate, benefactor, none of these single words seem to fully express my relationship with Shimizu-san. I can't. Right, I think the relationship between you two has become too complex to be summed up in one word. Hondo-kun, have you ever thought about your current relationship with Kei-chan? Many times, but what does that have to do with the play? If it were a normal play, probably nothing would have happened. But this time, it's about Oriheim and Hikaboshi. Hondo-kun, playing Hikaboshi, might have projected your current relationship with Kei-chan onto the characters in the play. But Shimizu-san and I aren't in that kind of relationship. That's true for now. But Hondo-kun, you like Kei-chan, don't you? Hearing those words, I felt as if I had been struck by a sudden shock. Well. Oh, sorry, I didn't phrase that well. I'm talking about liking her as a person. Yes, of course. It seemed I had jumped to conclusions. But you also like her as the opposite sex, don't you? Maybe I hadn't jumped to conclusions after all. I checked Kaho-san's expression. She had her usual cheerful smile. You're not teasing me, are you? That would be fun, but no. I just want to confirm how Hondo-kun feels about Kei-chan. Regarding your earlier question, honestly, I don't know. I always enjoy being with Shimizu-san, and there are times when my heart races around her. But whether that means I like her romantically, I can't really say. I had been pondering this since the training camp. Do I like Shimizu-san? I still haven't found the answer within myself. The sound disappeared from the clubroom. Looking at Kaho-san in front of me, her smile had vanished, and she seemed to be thinking seriously about something. Hondo-kun, you're very serious, aren't you? Is that so? Where does liking someone start? I don't think many people ponder over how to like someone. Maybe it's okay to just feel it naturally. Kaho-san must be trying to help me solve my worries. Maybe you're right. But if I'm going to like Shimizu-san, I want to be able to express my feelings with my own words. Why is that? Because I think Shimizu-san isn't good with vague affections. I remembered a conversation I had with her before. Shimizu-san had dyed her hair blonde to keep away people who would say they liked her just for her looks. She wants people to see her for more than her appearance, for her inner self. It seems like Hondo-kun really pays close attention to Kei-chan. Kaho-san smiled again. Am I wrong? No, it's not about being right or wrong. Hondo-kun has decided to seriously confront his feelings for Kei-chan. That's all there is to it, I think. Kaho-san, well, if I had to say, it would be better for Hondo-kun to figure out how he feels about Kei-chan before the play starts. If you can settle that, I'm sure the play will be a success. That's right, I had originally come to discuss the final scene of the play. I want to face my feelings for Shimizu-san again. And I will do my best in the play. Yeah, I'm rooting for you. With that, Kaho-san handed me the script for the play. Ah, I heard your conversation with Ai. You came to get this, right? I had completely forgot. The original purpose was to collect this script. Thank you very much. I just handed it to you from where it was lying around. We talked quite a bit, but are you okay with time? I hurriedly took out my smartphone to check the time. As Kaho-san said, more time had passed than I had thought. I'm sorry, I should be going soon. Yeah, I'll go around the festival too. Thank you for today. Thank you as well. I'm glad to hear about Hondo-kun's feelings for Kei-chan. After that, Kaho-san and I left the clubroom and started walking towards our respective destinations. Section. You're late, Hondo. That's right, Oni-chan. When I returned to where Shimizu-san and the others were, there was one more person. Specifically, my sister Teruno was there. Sorry. What were you doing, Daiki? It shouldn't have taken this long just to get the script. Senpai from my part-time job, Kaho-san, was in the clubroom, and we had a little chat. She was here. Shimizu-san made a blatantly displeased face. It seems she has a hard time dealing with Kaho-san. Is that Kaho-san, as in Sakurai Kaho-san, who's 2 years our senior? Toshiya, you know Kaho-san. Well, she's famous. She's tall and beautiful, so she was popular with everyone until she graduated. Indeed, Kaho-san attended the same school as us until last year, so it wouldn't be strange if they knew her. Matsuoka-kun, do you prefer tall women? No, it's not like I prefer them just because they're tall or dislike them if they're short. I think both tall and short women are great. I wonder why he's speaking so formally. And Seto-san probably just asked out of simple curiosity. What about you, Hondo-kun? I didn't expect the same question to be directed at me. Why is Shimizu-san already glaring at me? I haven't even said anything yet. Daiki, you care about height, don't you? Toshiya, it's not fair to answer before I do. Is that so, Hondo-kun? Honestly, it does bother me a little. Which do you prefer? There's no point in dodging the question. I decided to just say what I was thinking. Since I'm not one of the taller guys, I'm a bit concerned if she's taller than me. I think I'm starting to understand why Toshiya switched to formal speech earlier. I see. Sato-san's gaze shifted to Shimizu-san. What now? Who's taller, Hondo-kun or Shimizu-san? I think Hondo is a bit taller. Lucky you, Shimizu-san. Sato. Shimizu-san glared at Sato-san, but there was no change in Sato-san's demeanor. Oni-chan, aside from that, don't you have something you want to say to Oni-chan? What are you talking about? Had Shimizu-san and Teruno talked about something while I was away? After freezing for a few seconds, Shimizu-san slowly turned towards me. Hey, Hondo. What is it? What were you planning to do before we start preparing for the play? I was thinking of checking out the cultural festival. With whom? I haven't made plans with anyone, so I thought I'd invite someone who's free, like Toshiya. Matsuoka-kun is going to the cultural festival with me. Seto-san. This might be the first time I've seen Toshiya so surprised. So sorry, but I'd like Hondo-kun to go with someone else. Got it, I'll do that. I certainly can't interfere with Toshiya and Seto-san going together. Oni-chan, I'm going with Mom, so please find someone else. Okay. I didn't expect to be turned down before I even asked. Do you want to go with someone to the festival? Yeah, it's better to be with someone than alone. If there's no one else free, I'll go alone. There are things I want to think about, so maybe going alone isn't such a bad idea. Would I be no good? Shimizu-san, would it be no good if I went to the cultural festival with you? Shimizu-san looked somewhat anxious. Not at all. If Shimizu-san is okay with it, would you like to go to the cultural festival with me? Okay. Good for you, Oni-chan. Teruno hugged Shimizu-san with such force that she staggered, but somehow managed to catch her. Are you okay? This is nothing. Her expression didn't match her words, but if she says she's fine, then I want to believe she's fine. And so, Shimizu-san and I made a promise to go to the cultural festival together. Chapter 8. Shimizu-san and the cultural festival tour. There sure are a lot of people. It's the cultural festival after all. After my shift at our classes booth was over, I was walking around the school with Shimizu-san. Inside the school building, there were not only students, but also a fair number of visitors strolling around. When I glanced at Shimizu-san, she seemed to be somewhat concerned about the people around us. What's bothering you? Don't you care about it? About what? I tried to think about it, but nothing came to mind. What was Shimizu-san worried about? It's the gazes from around us. Now that she mentioned it, I finally understood. Shimizu-san is a well-known figure in our high school. It's natural that other students would look at her as she walked by, and those gazes were what Shimizu-san was concerned about. It might be difficult, but I think it's better if you try not to worry about it too much. That's impossible. You know, walking with me might even start some rumors about you. I see, Shimizu-san was worried about me. Don't worry about it. Even if other people think something about me being with Shimizu-san, I don't mind. Why? Besides, I'd rather not have Shimizu-san be so concerned about it that she can't enjoy the festival. You? Shimizu-san glared at me with a piercing look. I didn't mean to say anything strange. So, where do you want to go? If there's somewhere you want to visit, let's head there. I can't think of anywhere I want to go, but there are places we should visit to avoid trouble later. What do you mean? Well, let's go there first then. I followed Shimizu-san's lead to the place she mentioned, where we would have trouble if we didn't visit. Oh, isn't that Kei and Daiki-kun? We arrived in front of a classroom run by the third-year students. There, Ai-san stood in a plain white kimono. Ai-san, what's with the outfit? Of course, it's a ghost costume. Did you two come to experience our class's haunted house? You said I had to come at least once during the festival. So that's what Shimizu-san meant by trouble if we didn't visit. I did say that, but I didn't expect you to bring Daiki-kun along. So, who invited whom? Shimizu-san invited me. You didn't have to say that. It's so nice to see my little sister's growth. It's almost bringing tears to Oni-chan's eyes. Can we go now? Shimizu-san looked like she really wanted to go somewhere else. Wait, since you've come all this way, why not stop by our haunted house? No. You're deciding too quickly. I'm not interested in haunted houses. Let's go Hondo. Shimizu-san said this, and started walking without a specific destination in mind. I see Kei-san is scared. Ai-san muttered just loud enough for Shimizu-san to hear, and Shimizu-san stopped in her tracks. What did you say? Shimizu-san turned around and glared at Ai-san. If you're not scared, you should have no problem stopping by, but you're trying to avoid it. That means Kei-san is afraid of ghosts. Ai-san pointed at Shimizu-san like a detective who had just cracked a case. It was the usual pattern. Shimizu-san, calm down. I am calm. I won't fall for such cheap provocation. Good, Shimizu-san was aware that she was being provoked. It's not going to be that easy, huh? Give up, it won't go your way. Kei, you've gotten stronger. Don't act like a master. Shimizu-san coldly dismissed Ai-san's triumphant expression. Can't be helped then, Kei-san. May I have a moment of your time? Stop it, don't come any closer. Ai-san kept inching closer to Shimizu-san without stopping. It's something I'd rather not say in front of Daiki-kun, you know. Just say it quickly. Ai-san whispered something into Shimizu-san's ear. I was very curious about what they were discussing. How about it, Kei-san? It's not a bad proposal, is it? That depends on Hondo. It seemed that I was somehow part of their conversation. Daiki-kun, are you not good with ghosts? I might not be very good with them. I was surprised by the sudden question, but what I said was true. I'm not particularly afraid of the dark, but I'm also not so resistant to horror that I'd go to a haunted house alone. See, here's your chance to look cool. That might be true, but... Daiki-kun. Why yes. If you saw someone who wasn't scared in a haunted house, what would you think, Daiki-kun? Well, I'd probably be surprised by the ghosts myself, so I'd simply think that's amazing. This is a big chance. If you don't seize the moment now, when will you ever step up? I wonder what the big chance is. Besides, I think the time to exert effort probably isn't here. Hondo. Yes. I is being noisy. Can we just go into the haunted house? Sure, but are you okay with haunted houses, Shimizu-san? Of course I'm fine. If you say so. I wonder if Shimizu-san has a tolerance for scary things. I don't remember talking about it much, but if she says it's no problem, then it must be fine. Then, please allow me to guide the two of you. Led by Ai-san, Shimizu-san and I entered the classroom that had been transformed into a haunted house. Hondo, are you there? I'm here. Then that's good. How many times have we repeated this conversation? I'm starting to get a little worried. Shimizu-san, are you really okay? What are you talking about? You've seemed anxious ever since we entered. I'm not anxious. Really? Come on, let's keep going. Shimizu-san moved ahead in the dark haunted house, relying on the light from the flashlight we received from Ai-san at the reception. The walls inside the haunted house were made of cardboard, and the path was a straight line. If you're scared, Shimizu-san, I can go in front. I told you I'm not scared. Just follow me with peace of mind. The next moment, a sound like a child's laughter came from nowhere. Ah! Suddenly, there was an impact from the front. It took me a few seconds to realize that Shimizu-san had clung to me. Shimizu-san, it's a bit tight. This is to protect you. That excuse seems a bit far-fetched. As I was thinking this, something flashed violently overhead. Ah! This time she clung to my arm with force. There was a soft sensation on my arm. No, I shouldn't think too deeply about that sensation right now. Calm down. It's okay, Shimizu-san. But the voice, the light. The voice is probably just a recording played by some machine. The light might be a camera flash or something. I see. Shimizu-san seemed to calm down a bit and let go of my arm. Are you calmed down? Sorry, I got a little panicked. It felt like more than just a little, but it's probably better not to say that. Shall we keep going then? Can I lead the way this time? It feels dangerous to let Shimizu-san go ahead. Or rather, I don't want to put Shimizu-san in any danger. I have a favor to ask. What is it? Lend me your hand. Sure. I reached out my hand to Shimizu-san. I remembered the expression on her face when she pressed my hand against her cheek and smiled during my visit, and my heart skipped a beat. Shimizu-san hesitantly touched my hand and then intertwined her fingers with mine. Shimizu-san, this place is more dangerous than I thought, so let's move together. Okay. Do you mind? No, I was just surprised because it was so sudden. I feel more reassured holding hands with you too, Shimizu-san. That's right. Although it was dark and hard to see, I'm sure Shimizu-san had a proud expression on her face. Then let's go. Yeah. Holding the flashlight in one hand and Shimizu-san's hand in the other, we began to walk again, little by little. By the way, you seem fine with the haunted house. That's different from what you said. Shimizu-san, having regained her spirits, started the conversation. It's not that I'm really good with scary things. Then why are you so calm? Because if I panicked too, there would be no one left to protect you, Shimizu-san. Why? That's why I'm just trying hard to keep my fear under control. Even without seeing, I know. Right now, I'm definitely being glared at by Shimizu-san. Did I say something weird? I don't know if it's weird, but if you say that to just anyone, you'll end up in a lot of trouble later. I only say it to you, Shimizu-san, so it should be fine. I felt Shimizu-san's grip on my hand tighten a bit. You don't have to grip so tightly. As long as Shimizu-san doesn't let go of my hand, I definitely won't let go either. Are you always this talkative? Maybe I'm trying to hide how scared I am. I'll let that excuse slide. I was indeed anxious about what might come next. Hey, don't just tap my shoulder without saying anything at a time like this. Are you serious? Why would I need to lie? Wait. It seemed Shimizu-san had realized it too. I was holding a flashlight in one hand, and my other hand was linked with Shimizu-san's. There was no way I could have tapped anyone's shoulder. We slowly turned around together. There, standing behind us, was a figure wrapped head to toe in bandages. The faceless figure seemed to be laughing for some reason. Kaya. Shimizu-san let out a high-pitched scream. Together, Shimizu-san and I ran the rest of the way. Section. Good job. Kei-san seems really tired. I-san was sporting a grin that could only be described as mischievous. Shimizu-san didn't retort immediately, probably exhausted from all the screaming. Remember this later. I'll just erase it from my memory. And this. I-san fiddled with her smartphone, and a sound came from Shimizu-san's direction. What's that? Kei, check your phone. Shimizu-san pulled out her smartphone from her pocket. What's this? What's in the picture? Show him, Kei. Here. Shimizu-san showed me the smartphone screen. It displayed a photo of Shimizu-san clinging to my arm. Is this a picture from inside the haunted house we were in just now? That's right. Remember when there was a flash inside the haunted house? That was the light from the smartphone's flash. So that intense light was this. It had caught me off guard, so I hadn't seen the source clearly. Can I get a copy of that photo too? Hondo. Of course. I-san quickly operated her smartphone, and a sound came from my phone. Checking it, I saw that the same photo Shimizu-san had shown me had been sent to me. Thank you very much. No need to thank me. It's all part of the service for our group. Don't you dare show it to anyone else. Of course. It'll just be a memory for me and Shimizu-san. I has it too, right? I've already deleted it. Now it's a memory just for the two of you. Shimizu-san glared at I-san, but it didn't seem to affect her much. Still, it's nice to see you two holding hands. When I first saw it, Oni-chan's heart went all aflutter. You're paying too much attention. Oni-chan sees everything about Kei. Your eyes are too intrusive. Don't look at me with such cold eyes. Despite her words, I-san didn't seem particularly sad, which was just like her. So, did you both enjoy the haunted house? Yes, it was fun. I'll never be coming back. A bit of a split opinion. Well, as long as you had fun, that's good. Will you be at the reception here for a while, I-san? It's almost time for me to switch. Next, I have student council work, and then it's the main event for the play. Aren't you going to go around the cultural festival with Yaosuk? Indeed, I had the impression that Ai-san would likely invite Yaosuk-san. It might be difficult since Yaosuk and I are both busy. Maybe there's a chance after the play. There's only about an hour left of the cultural festival after the astronomy club's play. They must be really busy. I wanted to invite him to the after-party dance, but I can't because of student council work. Ai-san was smiling, but she seemed a bit disappointed. What will you be doing? What are you talking about? I'm asking what student council work you'll be doing during the after-party. Mostly cleaning up and stuff. I can do that for you. It's not a big deal. I can take over for you. Ai-san showed a rare expression of genuine surprise. That's okay. I've decided to stick with the student council work until the end. Besides, I can't make Kei shoulder the work for both me and Yaosuk. I'll do it too. If I help out, it will lessen the burden on each person, right? Hondo, you don't have to force yourself to keep up with me, you know. It's not about forcing myself. I've been taken care of by Ai-san and Yaosuk-san, so I want to return the favor at times like this. Daiki-kun. Besides, any job is fun if I'm doing it with Shimizu-san. Wah. Shimizu-san's cheeks seemed to redden just a bit. Thank you, Hondo-kun Kei. When I turned toward the source of the voice, there stood the bandaged man I had seen earlier, as if he had appeared out of nowhere. Ah, wait, that voice, are you Yaosuk by any chance? You didn't realize earlier. Ah, it must be because of the bandages. Don't scare us for no reason. And so, Shimizu-san and I ended up helping with the cleanup of the cultural festival in place of Yaosuk-san and Ai-san. Section. I feel like I've had a rough time. I might be a bit tired too. After leaving the place where we met Ai-san and Yaosuk-san, we were heading to the astronomy club's clubroom. The reason was simple. We were tired from our class's exhibition and the haunted house, so we wanted to take a break. Oni-san, may I have a moment? Turning toward the voice, there was a female student dressed in a witch-like cosplay. The girl was sitting on a chair, and in front of her was a table covered with a black tablecloth. What is it? That. The female student was completely intimidated by Shimizu-san. What's the matter? Would you like to have your fortune told? What do you mean? The conversation was so sudden that I couldn't see where it was going. Maybe it had something to do with her witch cosplay. I'm part of the fortune-telling club. The fortune-telling club. I had no idea such a club existed at our high school. Honestly, this was the first I'd heard of it. Yes, and I was hoping to tell fortunes for the people who came by, but hardly anyone has shown up. So you decided to approach us as we were passing by. That's right. The female student suddenly regained her energy. Can't you just bother someone else? No way, who knows when the next person will come by. The female student grabbed Shimizu-san's arm tightly. Let go, just wait patiently. It won't hurt and it's free. Just let me tell your fortune. Like I'd stand for a painful fortune telling. The female student was desperate not to let go of Shimizu-san. Shimizu-san, I think it might be less tiring if we just let her tell our fortune. After showing a moment of contemplation, Shimizu-san let out a small sigh. Fine, I'll let you tell my fortune. Yay. She must have been really starved for someone to read fortunes for. She seemed genuinely happy. So what kind of fortune telling can you do? On the table were items like a crystal ball, tarot cards, and a few other things. I specialize in this. Saying so, the female student placed both hands on the crystal ball. Then, what about all that other stuff, like the tarot cards? Those belong to the other members. It seemed there were indeed other members of the fortune-telling club. Well, if that's all you can do, then I guess it can't be helped. Isn't it better not to worry about it? Oni-san, you say such nice things. I wasn't trying to compliment her. So what can you tell with that glass ball? It's a crystal ball. This crystal ball is all-purpose and can tell you anything. If that were truly the case, then there would be no need for other tools. It sounds suspicious. How accurate is it? Based on my experience, it's about 86 out of 100. The accuracy being somewhat high makes it even more suspicious. Don't worry, you don't have to believe the bad results. Is it okay for the fortune teller to say that? Now I was starting to feel a little uneasy. So, what will you divine? Something I want to be divined. It's not something I usually think about, so nothing comes to mind immediately. Maybe something safe, like whether you'll last as a couple. Hi. What are you talking about? Wait, aren't you two a couple? No, we're not. Why does Shimizu-san glare at me, I wonder? Sorry, you look so well matched, I just assumed. Well, I'll let it slide. Thank you, so what will you do? Hearing the word couple, an idea popped into my head. Today, we're putting on a play, but can you tell if it will be successful or not? That's an interesting one. Is there such a thing as an interesting or uninteresting fortune-telling? Can you do it? Don't worry. There's nothing impossible for me and this crystal ball. Let's begin. With that, the female student held her hands over the crystal ball, closed her eyes, and began to murmur something in a voice so low that we couldn't hear what she was saying. After about a minute, she suddenly opened her eyes wide and raised her hands in the air. Here it is. The fortune-telling is complete. That was unexpectedly loud. So what's the result? Well, I swallow my saliva. I don't completely believe in fortune-telling, but I'm a bit nervous. Hurry up and tell me. Don't rush me. You wanted to know if the play you're participating in will be successful, right? Yes. The answer is that the success of the play depends on the two of you. My heart skips a beat. Indeed, the most uncertain part at this stage is the final scene with Shimizu-san and me. That's something anyone could say. The fortune-telling continues. For the play to succeed, it's necessary for the two of you to confront something. What do we need to confront? The person you are both thinking about in your minds right now. Kaho-san's words from earlier flashed through my mind. It would be better for Hondo-kun to figure out how he feels about Kei-chan before the play starts. If you can settle that, I'm sure the play will be a success. Could the fortune-telling be trying to convey the same message as Kaho-san? It seems like Oni-san might have an idea. Yes. I won't ask for details. Doesn't Oni-san have some thoughts as well? Shimizu-san neither affirms nor denies. How much time is there until the play? About an hour or so. Then it would be wise to use that time to confront it. I'm rooting for the success of your play as well. The female student seemed satisfied with her fortune-telling and said nothing more. Shimizu-san and I left the place and headed to our original destination, the clubroom. Section. Opening the door to the astronomy club's clubroom, we found no one inside. Both Shimizu-san and I sat down in our usual chairs. What kind of person is Shimizu-san to me? It's something I've thought about over and over in my head. No matter how many times I thought about it, I couldn't find an answer. I'm certain she's an important presence, but I felt that she was different from important people like family or friends. If only I could explain how it's different, I might get closer to an answer. Hey, Hondo. Startled by Shimizu-san's call, I check the time on my smartphone and realize more time has passed than I thought. Sorry, I was lost in thought. What's the matter? You're worried about what the fortune-teller said earlier. Is what I'm thinking that obvious? Yeah, she said it too, but fortune-telling doesn't always come true, so don't worry about it too much. I know, but what was said is kind of stuck in my mind. About confronting or facing the person you're thinking about. Yeah, I'm going to ask you something now, but you don't have to answer if you don't want to. Okay, what do you want to ask? The fact that she's prefacing it with permission not to answer suggests it might be a difficult question. Who were you thinking about? Shimizu-san's question was simpler than I expected. After a bit of hesitation, I decided to tell her exactly what I was thinking. I was thinking about you, Shimizu-san. Is that so? What about you, Shimizu-san? What were you thinking about? Silence flowed through the clubroom. It was about 10 seconds later that Shimizu-san spoke. I was thinking about you. When I heard those words, for some reason, it felt like my heart warmed up a bit. Hattie, what are you laughing at? Sorry, it just made me happy. You're always so odd. Am I? It's not like you gain anything from it. Isn't it happiness enough to know that someone important to you is thinking about you? Don't just use those words lightly. Okay. Shimizu-san's voice seemed a bit lower than usual. After all this time, you don't need to face me now. What do you mean? You've been facing me all along. You talked to me normally even when I had blonde hair, and you didn't blatantly change your attitude after I dyed it back to black. Isn't that just normal? That's not the point. Ouch. I received a light chop on the head from Shimizu-san. You've always faced me directly, and that's why we're here now. So you don't need to worry more than necessary. Maybe I had been thinking too deeply about what it means to face and confront someone. Looking into their eyes when speaking must surely be part of facing that person. Thank you, Shimizu-san. You don't need to thank me. But if that's the case, why were you thinking about me, Shimizu-san? If you say I've been facing you all this time, then you've been facing me too, right? It's possible to face someone unilaterally, but I didn't feel that way. That's because. Because even if I succeed in the final scene of the play, it's no good unless you succeed too, so I was worried about you. I see. Thank you for that. Why, yeah, sure. Why does Shimizu-san seem a little flustered? After that, we spent the time until the preparation for the play chatting casually as we always did. Chapter 9. Shimizu-san and the play's performance. It's finally time. Yeah. Yes. We, the members of the astronomy club, were standing in front of a certain vacant classroom. Since our club was small in number and scale, we had decided to perform our play in a vacant classroom instead of the gymnasium. Upon checking inside the classroom, there were about 30 audience members seated, waiting for the play to begin. Looking closely at the audience, I could see familiar faces like Toshia, Teruno, Kaho-san, Runa-san, and even my mother and Shimizu-san's mother. 10 minutes to start, everyone. Are you all ready? Everyone but Ai-san nodded affirmatively. All right, looks good. Then let's form a circle. Why do we need to do that? It's good for unity. Plus, I've always wanted to try it. Come on, form a circle quickly. Urged by Ai-san, the 5 of us formed a circle. Okay, now everyone link arms with the person next to you. Do we have to? Understood. We all linked shoulders. Daiki-kun, please lead the cheer. Okay. I couldn't hide my surprise at being suddenly called upon, but since I was nominated, I had to do it. Everyone, I believe we've all practiced hard up to today. So let's give it our all and make this the best play ever. Here we go. Ew. The voices of the other 4 members overlapped with mine. After a moment, the circle was broken. That was great. This is truly youth. Nice cheer, Hondo-kun. Thank you. Now, everyone is free until it's time to start. Get into the right mindset on your own. Yes. With those words, we all dispersed for a bit. Feeling somewhat restless, I looked around. Seto-san was doing a final check of the script, Ai-san was checking her appearance, and Yaosuk-san was taking deep breaths. When I turned my gaze to Shimizu-san, she seemed unsettled, perhaps due to nerves. Shimizu-san, are you nervous? I'd like to say I'm not, but maybe I am a little. Yeah, I'm feeling nervous too. It's natural to be nervous. Well, we just have to do it. Right. Is there anything you want to say to me? What should I say, like, you look good in the Oriheim costume? Shimizu-san was wearing a kimono that resembled Oriheim's, and it seemed to suit her very well. That's not what I mean. Then what is it? You're too laid back. Well, never mind, I have something I want to say to you. What is it? Shimizu-san closed her eyes tightly for a moment before opening them wide. In the final scene, I'm going to give it my all against you. So don't hold back and come at me with everything you've got. Silence flowed between us. Say something. Sorry, I was just thinking. Okay, I understand. I haven't been holding back, but I'll convey everything I have to Shimizu-san in the final scene. I looked straight at Shimizu-san. She met my gaze without looking away. Everyone, it's almost time. The first and last play by the 5 of us was about to begin. Section, and thus Oriheim and Hikoboshi were forced to be apart. With Seto-san's narration, the stage went dark for a moment. The play was already midway through. So far, there had been no major issues, and it was proceeding smoothly. Since then, the 2 worked hard every day, thinking of each other but unable to meet. According to the script written by Runa-san, Oriheim and Hikoboshi are no longer allowed to meet despite working diligently. Oriheim was engulfed in sorrow, but she was not one to give up. The stage was lit up again, revealing Shimizu-san dressed as Oriheim. Don't think for a moment that I'll give up so easily. During the day, Oriheim worked hard at weaving, and at night, she pondered how she could meet Hikoboshi again. What should I do? As days passed and seasons changed, Oriheim came up with an idea. That's it. If I build a bridge over the Milky Way, maybe I can meet him. The audience stirred with excitement. Indeed, it was a surprising turn for those unfamiliar with the story. Oriheim then began trying to build a bridge. However, she had never built one before, and to make matters worse, she was clumsy. It doesn't matter even if I'm clumsy. The audience chuckled softly, yet Oriheim didn't give up. She wove during the day and studied bridge building at night, exhausted. As seasons turned, Oriheim finally began to build the bridge. Shimizu-san mimed hammering nails with a gesture. However, as mentioned before, Oriheim was clumsy, and she struggled to build the bridge properly. The bridges she built often collapsed midway, and each time she had to start over from scratch. I won't give up. Still, Oriheim never gave up. She built and rebuilt, never once allowing herself to surrender, no matter how many times she had to start over. At that moment, I felt for the first time that the image of Oriheim trying to build a bridge overlapped with that of the real Shimizu-san. Memories of Shimizu-san came flooding back. Shimizu-san, who struggled with cooking but worked hard to help during cooking practice. Shimizu-san, who studied diligently so we could all observe the stars together. Shimizu-san, who persevered through unfamiliar part-time jobs so we could all go to the training camp together. Shimizu-san was always someone who could work hard for the sake of others. Perhaps as a result of that perseverance, Oriheim became gradually better at building bridges. How much time had passed since she first started? Eventually, Oriheim was able to build a bridge halfway across the Milky Way. Just half left, huh? It's no wonder Oriheim was surprised. Looking ahead, she saw someone else building a bridge from the other side. Could it be? Driven by desperation, Oriheim worked on her bridge. It connected with the unfinished bridge in front, and finally, she was able to span the Milky Way with her bridge. I began walking towards the stage. Why are you here? For the same reason as you. Yes, the one building the bridge from the other side was Hikoboshi. In fact, Hikoboshi had also been building a bridge alone for a long time to meet Oriheim. After a long time, the two were finally able to reunite. Our eyes met, Shimizu-san's gaze brimming with strong determination. I have something I want to tell you. Me too. Silence flowed between us. The final scene began. I love you. No matter where you are or how old you get, I will always love you. Shimizu-san's voice echoed throughout the classroom. Hearing those words, it seemed I finally became aware of my own feelings. I love you too. I love your hardworking nature. I love that you can be so earnest about anything you've decided to do. I love that you can take action for someone else. I love your gentle smile. Isso. Our voices overlapped. Please stay with me forever. Our eyes met again. I approached Shimizu-san and hugged her with all my might. Why you? Cheers could be heard from the audience. Thus, the two who were able to meet again never parted, and they lived happily ever after. The stage slowly darkened, and eventually it was pitch black. The play by the Astronomy Club, Oriheim and Hikoboshi, came to an end amidst applause. Hondo-kun, can I talk to you for a moment? Kaho-san. After the play, as I was heading to the changing room, Kaho-san called out to me. I'm glad the play was a success. Thank you very much. I was nervous too since I watched it after you asked for advice, especially during the last scene. I'm sorry. It's okay, I enjoyed it all including that. But it seems Hondo-kun has realized his feelings for Kei-chan. Yes, although I only realized my feelings for Shimizu-san during the play. Is that so? Then I want to confirm again, what do you think of Kei-chan, Hondo-kun? I looked around to make sure no one else was nearby. I like her. I like Shimizu-san, as a person and as someone of the opposite sex. I think I've probably liked her for a while now, and I only realized it today. Yes, I like Shimizu-san. I'm not sure when I started liking her in a romantic sense. Before I knew it, I couldn't take my eyes off Shimizu-san, who is clumsy but earnestly pushes forward with anything she decides to do. You have a nice expression. I'm glad I could hear that. Thanks to Kaho-san, I was able to realize my feelings. Thank you. No, I think Hondo-kun would have realized it sooner or later on his own. Well, I'll be going. Let me play the senior again, if you ever have any trouble. With that, Kaho-san left with her usual smile. As I headed back to the changing room, I pondered whether I would be able to talk to Shimizu-san as usual the next time we met. Epilogue, Shimizu-san and the after-party. They seem to be having fun dancing, don't they? Yes, they do. The cultural festival had come to an end, and as promised, Shimizu-san and I were cleaning up in place of Ai-san and Yaosuke-san. Our assigned area to clean was the second floor of the gymnasium, which had a view of the first floor where the after-party was being held. So, as we were taking down the decorations, we watched the two of them dance. I'm really tired. We did go through a lot. I was a bit surprised at how normally I could talk to Shimizu-san even after realizing that I had feelings for her. We sold yakisoba, went into the haunted house, got entangled with that annoying fortune teller, and just when I thought we could rest, we had to perform in the play. That's not something you do in just one day. Haha. Thinking about it, even considering it was a cultural festival, it was indeed a day packed with events. Something had been on my mind, so I decided to ask. Did you enjoy the cultural festival today, Shimizu-san? Shimizu-san paused her cleaning for a moment, as if to think before she spoke. It wasn't bad. The play was a success, too. Hearing her words made me happy as well. That's good to hear. There's something I want to ask you, too. What is it? At the end of the play, why did you hug me so tightly? The original script called for a light hug in that scene. However, during practice, we both ended up giving awkward hugs, probably out of embarrassment. The reason I hugged her so tightly was that I couldn't contain my feelings for Shimizu-san. And the lines, you added some ad-lib. Why did you suddenly change the lines? At that moment, I had just blurted out what I was feeling towards Shimizu-san. The reason I hugged you so tightly and changed the lines so suddenly was that I got too carried away with the role. I'm sorry. I bowed my head to Shimizu-san. I'm not blaming you, I was just curious, that's all. Lift your head up. Okay. I felt a little pain in my heart, since I wasn't used to hiding things from Shimizu-san. It turned out to be a success in the end, so it's fine. But you must have felt uncomfortable, right, Shimizu-san? Well, I doubted anyone would feel good about being hugged by someone they didn't have feelings for. So I really am sorry, Shimizu-san. Hey Hondo, look at me. Okay. As I turned my face towards Shimizu-san, she grasped my cheek with her hand. Shimizu-san. Listen, if I really hated being hugged, I would have rejected it, even in the play. Don't sweat the small stuff. After saying that, Shimizu-san let go of my cheek. Got it. Yeah. Good. Both Shimizu-san and I returned to our task of cleaning up the decorations. Can I ask just one more thing? Sure. Did you enjoy the cultural festival? I wasn't sure what Shimizu-san was thinking when she asked, but my answer was clear. I had a lot of fun this year because I was with you, Shimizu-san. Why? I couldn't see Shimizu-san's expression since she was facing the wall, but it seemed like her ears turned a little redder than before. End of Volume 4.